You realize Cowboy Bebop is my favorite anime?
Of all time?
Yeah, I think so.
There's some ones we can argue about. Hey guys, new intro.
He's a friend tattoo with him. It's too late. I don't think you fit the issue. How do won't you have my Clair?
Hey everybody.
How's
it going?
Terrible.
What have you done?
Intro time.
This is a warning to all living mortals. That who shall ever open this chest of demons will release 13 of the most terrifying ghosts upon the face of the earth. Okay, cut it. This isn't going to work. Let's try some nostalgia bait.
It's kind of strange. You looking at the leafy range. I can't settle it in bed. Or have you picked your target yet? It's ended. Got your dog bite. It's ended.
Okay, that was better. But let's try something a bit more cinematic.
You about to witness hip-hop in its most purest, most rawest form, flow, almost flawless, most hardest, most honest, known artist. Chip off the old block, but old Doc is back. Looks like Batman brought his own Robin. Oh God, Saddam's got his own Laden. Off the hinges, oranges, peach, pears, plums, oranges. Yeah, here I come, I'm inches away from you, there fear none. Hip-hop is in a state of 911, so let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around, what is this? Must be a circus in town, let's shut the shit down on these clowns. Can I get a witness? Hell yeah. Let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around, what is this? Must be a circus in town, let's shut the shit down on these clowns. Can I get a witness?
Yeah, that's the shit I like. Let's start the Barroom podcast. Take it away, Jacob.
There we go. That's the real intro for first show. That's not. I totally did not play that About a Girl cover. I absolutely love, by the way. Have you guys heard the About a Girl cover from Puddle of Mud? It's pound for pound one of the best cover songs of all time, ever, I would say.
Apparently, we just heard it.
Yeah. No, you heard the cover of that cover. You haven't heard the actual thing in its entirety?
Probably, I just didn't know that it was a cover.
Yeah, so if you guys recall this, Puddle of Mud several years ago decided that they were going to cover a very, very classic song from Nirvana. And the guy from the lead singer of the thing thought that though he would do it in the exact same cadence as, one Kurt Cobain. And it was a hilarious disaster of a event. It was so bad that Sirius took it down the day afterward, has never claimed it since, which means that we can play it. And no one can stop us from playing this. They can't claim it because no one wants to claim it.
Okay.
Easy friend, I do with the head to head.
They're all trying not to laugh. Excuse you.
This is the best part. Oh, this brings joy to my face every time I see it. It's just lovely. Hello, everyone.
Magical.
We're here for episode 138 of the Barroom Podcast, and I'm joined with a bunch of men who probably regret being here now. Let's go ahead and introduce everyone who's here, joining us here. Our good buddy Culture Casino is joining us here for tonight's episode. How are you going, Culture?
Pretty good. Well, I've now suffered through that song 3 different times, once off screen, and yet it's still not the worst thing I've seen this week, and probably not the worst thing I'll see at the end of the week either, which we'll talk about later.
Oh, there's a preview. There's a tease for
There's a
stuff that we're
teaser.
going to talk about here today.
Teaser.
Also joining us here tonight is our good buddy Rob Motto. How's it going, Rob?
Pretty good. I used to listen to Puddle of Mud when I was a teenager. She fucking hates me as a favorite.
great song.
I can't
Great
say
song.
that they're a great band or anything, but and that obviously they're known more for that than any music that's appreciated or liked. But yeah, they I mean, Linkin Park. It was around that time, like 12.
Yeah, but Chester at least could sing.
Have you seen the new girl from Linkin Park? I think
Jeez.
she's done some performances now with the band. So no,
Yeah.
it can't really just shake the fact that it just feels like a cover band at this point. It's like
Yeah, she is. Remember the guy that replaced the original singer for Journey? He was at least a gifted singer. He was Asian, but he was freaking like lights out, like the same voice. It was crazy. She is not that.
No. to the point where it's like you guys just would have been better off just starting a new band. Like that was where you wanted to go. Just start a new band. And everyone would be like, okay, this is this new thing, but you wanted that Linkin Park name. So it's like, okay, like do it Creed did after they got rid of Scott Stapp. Just become Alter Bridge. And that's all you gotta do. It's not that hard. Orange Hat, what are you doing here tonight? How's it going?
I'm alive.
I'm still trying to figure out how he got to match his hat to his headphones. That's bitching, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Magic.
The old, you remember the old like 1970s Tampa Bay creamsicle jerseys? We need to get one of those for Orange.
Oh, dude, it would be so great. Oh, I love those jerseys so much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they break them out a couple of times out of the year, but it's like, yeah, you guys should have never got rid of them to begin with. Like, who told you that burgundy and black was better?
No. That is, dude, those were great, man. I'm like, come on now. That's straight up Florida there.
Oh yeah. Also joining us here is our good buddy Cider. How's it going, Cider?
Yep, it is going.
You guys are just like the most oppressing. Yeah, I'm here physically. Emotionally, I'm here.
You sent me the link. What the hell else do you want, huh?
Like I haven't died yet, so I guess today was a good day.
I gotta tell you about my day now, Jacob. You haul me in here, make me listen to that nonsense, and then I gotta tell you about my day.
Yeah, it's like I went to Kroger earlier today, bought some eggs.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a grocery store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're related to
Walmart's the most.
I don't know what you have in Maine. We have like Aldi or some weird chain like that. I mean, Ingles.
You guys have the Dollar General?
Yes.
Okay, that's up here too. We don't have a Sonic restaurant at all in the state of Maine at all.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no Jack in the Box in the state of Georgia at all.
Same.
That's really weird. You can make your own tater tots though, which tater tots and grilled cheese sandwiches are like the best things at Sonic.
I've only seen Jack in the Box on the West Coast, but it's probably because I stay out of Middle America in the South.
Oh,
I think there's a Jack in the Box in Tennessee, which may have been the last time that I've been there. But the last time I was in the West Coast, I ate at In-N-Out Burger.
The last time you were at Tennessee, or the last time you were at Jack in the Box?
No, actually, no. The last time I was in Jack in the Box was in Tennessee. I think it was
okay.
4-ish years ago.
If you're anywhere that there's a Whataburger, there is no excuse to go anywhere else. So I don't understand.
I've never had Whataburger, so I can't say.
There's another Whataburger that's being built. They're building them all around Georgia now. Like they're everywhere.
Every Freedom City in America built on federal land will have a Whataburger at
There
the
you go.
center.
There you go. It needs at least that one plus maybe 30 or 40 other ones. Whataburger needs to be on every other screen. They need to be 7-Eleven or Circle K back in the day. That's what Whataburger needs to be.
Well, just trust me, they're getting there, especially here in this region. So
You've heard of Five Guys? How about 11 Burger? I don't know. It sounds like a tech startup.
All of my West Coast
better a 5-11 than a 9-11.
All of my West Coast friends and me for the longest time did not know what a White Castle was, even though Beastie Boys was preaching it, right? And then one day I went there, and my disappointment is immeasurable.
Yeah, they're garbage burgers. I mean, they really are. Yeah.
They're little
They're
tiny
like
slices.
boiled.
Here's the thing. This is what people don't understand about the lore of White Castle. White Castle used to be great when the burgers were like 15 cents because you can go up there, load up on a bunch of garbage burgers, and be happy because you only paid like $1.15 to eat all that crap. Now the burgers is like $3, and they're still the exact same size they were in like 1979. And it makes no sense. So it's like no one wants to spend $20 on like 3.5 burgers. That defeats the entire purpose of why it was good in the first place. So yeah. White Castle, and then what was it, the rip-off White Castle crystals that they have in other areas here in the South, like those are both like crystals is basically Southern White Castle, if that makes any sense.
That was the name of a stripper chain up here in Maine.
What?
That's so wild.
Was it also spelled with a K?
Yes, they may have been the same institution. They just decided to sell titties instead of burgers up here.
Cider, was the Crystals just a burger joint that you just assumed was a strip joint this entire time?
No. Because we own the taxi service and the limo service, we knew where those places were. So yeah, no, it had nothing to do with burgers. That may have been happenstance, but those gentlemen were there to see boobies.
Somebody brought up a great point on Twitter not too long ago. It's like, how big of a degenerate do you have to be to eat food at a strip club? Like how?
Well, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah,
like, you could jerk off. What are you supposed to do there? So they give you wings, so you're not jerking off. You're like, I can't jerk off. My hands are covered in hot sauce.
Literally, if I got dragged to a strip club, they just don't interest. Probably would eat. I probably would order.
You know, they have a good breakfast buffet, like a brunch buffet. I mean,
at the strip club?
If you're going to do one thing good, right? Make sure it's the food at the strip club, all right? If you're going to do one thing good.
I'm sorry, who goes to the strip club in the AM? Like, who does that? Well, the AM while the light is out.
Hey, who goes to Hooters for wings, bro? I mean, come on now.
So it would be an interesting thing, right? So you only had your strip club open for the breakfast crowd. So from 4 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's when your strip club's open. you just serve the hot breakfast, like your pancakes, all that Denny's stuff.
Like, is that not like a reevaluate your life moment when you're walking into a strip club at like 9 a.m. on a Tuesday?
No, honey. Listen. They have the best bacon here. You don't know. They spice the grill really special. You'll see.
No, ignore the titties over there. Come on in. This is amazing stuff.
They play some great music there. Trust
me. She's a poet. Did you know that? She's a poet, Jennifer. She's just working her way through college.
Yeah. She says she wants to get into real estate. You should hear her story.
Her boyfriend's one of the bouncers. Nice kid. Nice kid. He's going places.
Oh boy, this is America.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
People in the UK are like,
We've just come up with the new IHOP idea. Okay, it's just
strippers, bouncers,
IHump. That's what it is. It's IHump.
This is our new chain.
They did change their name for a little while, right? International House of Burgers. Remember that?
Yep.
That was a disaster. A disaster.
I mean, yes, but this won't miss. This won't miss. Everybody wants.
So wait. So it would be the International House of Uncomfortable Moments
with family.
Pee. Uncomfortable.
Andy?
Well, I mean, at least they didn't go with like Waffle House tagline, which is basically top shelf boxing. So there's that.
You could go with IHUM and just IHUM, and it's
IHUM.
just it's International House of Uncomfortable Moments.
I mean,
There
if
you
you go to a Waffle House past 10 o'clock, you're basically asking me to punch in the face.
You know, take those two crowds together. You got your violent people from the Waffle House, and you got the people from the strip club that are looking for waffles. Just there you go. Perfect.
Just not blue waffles. Anyway.
Oh, I say now you killed me. We had a vibe going, and then you just ruined it.
I don't want to eat at that strip club.
No.
Like that's a Yelp review. That's a Yelp review. Like, don't ask for the blue waffles at this.
No,
place.
you do not want blue waffles.
It's like literally like asking. It's like literally put on there. It's like I didn't know what a blue waffle was until I came to this strip club, and now
But it's still 5 stars. It's still 5 stars.
Somehow.
I love those ones that are horribly negative and they have 5 stars with it
stars.
anyway.
He just puts. I'd have been here more if I had known.
It's the bipolar Yelp reviewer.
Yeah, man. Here's a little bit for Waffle House.
Now, y'all might have seen the announcement that Waffle House was going to be adding a surcharge for ordering eggs. Well, it didn't take us long to realize that was way too easy. I mean, then we thought, yeah, of course it is, because who's going to stop us? You going to fight Waffle House? So we came up with more surcharges, like, you interrupt my smoke break to say, oh, I think we're ready to order. Okay, you think? Why don't you come back when you're sure? How about that? That'll cost you a cigarette. You complain that any surface in here is sticky, you get to clean it. You try ordering milk from anything but a cow, you're dead to me. You say you're with the health department. No, you didn't. You play Morgan Wallen back to back on that there jukebox, and I'm gonna give you what I call the Hank Hi-Ya. And that's where you start playing Hank Williams. I'm gonna give you one of these little hi-yas. You get handsy with your date over there? I get to watch. Oh, you want to order something off the secret menu that you saw on TikTok? You think we got a secret menu? There ain't no secrets at Waffle House. We ain't even got a kitchen. We got nothing to hide. You take shit to Cracker Barrel. For more information, please see our website, www.shoveitupyourbiscuit.com. You can look it up on that free Wi-Fi that we ain't got.
There you go. There's a Waffle House.
Look, Jacob, somehow we have to get the 01 crew together to do a training video from the 90s about how to work at Waffle House. Okay, we need to get everybody together to do a training video for Waffle House.
Mm-hmm. Just get like a really, really like old style camera, and then like
it's shot on Shidio. Yep.
It's shot on Shidio. People are staring at the camera before they're speaking, even though they're not supposed to at all.
Yeah, they're leaning against the counter, looking into the camera lens directly.
They're looking for their cue. It's like no.
Welcome to Waffle House.
Mm-hmm. And they're still looking at the wrong camera.
Right, tossing the cigarette down onto the floor, putting it out. Shit. Welcome to Waffle House. Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great.
Your next intro, we should all be working at the Waffle House. If that's our goal now. We have to turn that into a real thing.
It's a goal. It's a goal now. Okay. Wow. 2025 went downhill fast.
We've been talking for like 18 minutes. I haven't even acknowledged anyone in the chat yet.
Yeah.
How you guys doing? Sakura Mita joining us here saying the effervescence of a bursting lemon. I'm pretty sure that's a reference to something that I've never seen before.
Effervescence. Not evanescence. That's a band.
No, yeah, the band
Bubbles.
Is Amy Lee like still hot now? Does anyone still consider her like attractive?
I don't know what that is. Is that a Digimon?
I don't know what that is.
She's the lead singer of the band you just mentioned.
Oh,
I only know the name because of the meme. I don't think
Yeah.
I even listened to the whole song bore.
Bring me to life.
Mm-hmm. Wake me up.
Yeah. I don't think
It
I've
is-
listened to the whole thing.
Sometimes I'm
see-
amazed that me and Cider are the same age. We were born in the same year because, like, I'll know exactly what you're talking about. And he'll be like, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, it's like
Regions.
Maine and Pennsylvania are like 2, 4, and like you think that being as close as they are, that
Nope. That's
All right.
Hawaii to Australia.
Neo Zoix here. He asked the question: "Which American romance film would you rather watch, An Officer and a Gentleman or Casablanca?" Anyone who picks Casablanca, I'm punching you in the face.
You know,
What do you think?
I gotta tell you, I was a war bride with Cary Grant or Grant Cary, whichever way it goes.
Yes.
No,
That
it's
was
Cary Grant.
It's Cary Grant. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that movie. It was like the first like buddy cop romance movie that I had like seen as a kid because my parents didn't want to expose me to the crazy stuff that was on TV just yet. And yeah, it was a really fun movie.
Well, I know if Rick was here, he would say Casablanca because this is like his favorite movie. I've really never been a big fan of it. It's a classic movie. It's I mean, you can't take anything away from it. It's just never been my favorite movie.
Well,
but yeah, and I'll be honest, I have a soft spot for An Officer and a Gentleman. Just because mayonnaise and Lou Gossett Jr. and that stupid fucking song. But it was shot also in the Pacific Northwest, so I always like that. I like that it was shot in Port Townsend, but yeah, I can't say it's a better movie than Casablanca, but I'd probably prefer to watch it.
No, I thought it was going to be a more interesting story. Like I got my hurt first handy to that. But anyway, no, you're the only one here that'll know what I'm talking about, Rob. So I'm going to throw this one at you. Why is it that all of these quote unquote romance movies like Casablanca are all about infidelity?
I mean, because movies are kind of about, secret, unapproved desires being projected on the screen and, having an interesting story behind it and see how it plays out. But I mean, there are aspects of Casablanca that are very much like, it's like a film noir until it doesn't go that way. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can understand that, a lot of things that are, people don't want to talk about in society.
But how come they don't talk about that at film school? I mean, again, I'm sitting there going, every single romance thing they've thrown at me is about ladies cheating on dudes. The flip is this, and it's like, it's true with Titanic. It's true with almost everything. It's like chicks getting down with not their dude.
Even the
I love how Cider's raising his hand like he's
Cider. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But it was a good debate, and I didn't want to be like, "Hey, but wait," I didn't want to jump in. So anyway, what I have observed with this trend is that because I grew up reading romance novels in the laundromat because like we had to do laundry stuff, so I got bored of the toys, read the books, and learned a lot. So what happened is that the trend with this stuff as it goes into movies is it follows the same ideology, is that women do not find stability interesting. Sorry. It's kind of boring when your husband provides everything for you and you go everywhere and the sun is always shining. There's a new beach to walk on. This new fluffy thing that you've never seen before wants to be your friend, all because your husband is dragging you around the world and you have wonderful children who love you and don't cause chaos, and they find that very boring. So what happens is that similar to the male power fantasy of being the last man standing to defend your land, as your heart lights ablaze in the final act to defend your way of life, what is the female power fantasy is to be able to step away from a very loyal, loving, and conscientious man who takes very good care of you, and to go on a quick and very exciting romp with a potentially younger man with a loose set of morals and a very hard idea of the world. And that's typically how this goes.
So in order to stop that from happening, you just figure out a different way to pound her from a different direction, dude. Problem solved.
Well, Deadpool presented that, right? Only she was doing the pounding.
That was a little rough. I'm
right?
just gonna say.
You can go extremes, right?
Going on in Deadpool. It's kind of a thing.
But that's what it comes down to in romance is women find stability boring. So that's why the romance is always, oh my gosh, you're cheating. Somebody's cheating.
That's exactly why every other relationship in America is virtually broken right now, because it's like, normal is bad now.
You'll notice something in the little dating app questions is that the majority of women you're talking to always answer yes to, do you think jealousy is healthy in a romance? They always answer yes.
This is the little bits of psychology I didn't want to know. Why are we need a lady in here because I want to understand their
Beverly
psychology. I mean, speaking of we have a subject to talk about along this line. Why are you always going for the bad boy?
What questions do you have?
Well, I mean,
I may not be female, but I know a lot about them.
Okay, well, I mean, why are you fishing for Chad? Chad's never a good guy. Chad's never good to you. Chad may be fit and wealthy, but outside of those attributes and blowing your mind maybe a couple of times, that's it. That's the depth of that interaction.
Chad needs to be fixed. The nurture thing kicks in. That's what it is.
Okay, but after you've had the experience of not being able to fix 6 or 7 or 10 Chads, wouldn't you have figured out that that's not a problem you can solve? You're not a mathematician in that area.
Psychologically speaking,
yeah.
Go ahead, Orange.
Psychologically speaking, women are drawn to to men who can make their lives easier.
Okay, so that stable relationship that Cider was talking about, that's easier.
Sure, but the problem with stable relationships to them is that it also requires a lot more effort than they are willing to put out.
Okay,
well, this is not a dig at all women.
No,
this is
just most of them.
Specifically, those women who prefer that Chad guy that you're talking about.
No, yeah, I know.
That is what those ones are particularly.
We'll save this conversation for later because this plays into a big topic that we're going to talk about here tonight. Yeah, so we'll definitely circle back around to this later on tonight. Leslie Tarkin is joining us here as well. Kirk is here. Orange Hat's just mad, but he is in fact here as well. Leslie, big fan of
Orange Hat.
Culture Casino. So there you go.
I'm not pissed. I just hate him for the intro.
Who else we have here? Mia saying, do you remember that Fortnite post that I found?
What?
No, you have to refer me to that one. Who else we have here? Orange Hat is a wizard, apparently, now. Yeah, we mentioned Jack in the Box and Chick-fil-A a little earlier. Chipotle has decent food, especially their burrito bowls.
I didn't forget.
Someone had to. Who else do we got here? Maurice Johnson is joining us here tonight. I think Kote gave him a little quick shout out too. It says drinking wasting money on that trailer park trash. I think he mentioned a Waffle House. Do they serve chicken wings at the strip club? Don't they serve chicken wings at the strip club? Yeah, they call that Hooters. My friend wanted to go to a bar on Sunday night. I was like, bro, I'm not a loser. Jesus, ouch.
I gotta tell you, when we were running the taxi service, there's a very special kind of person who is at the bar on Sunday night, and I will tell you, they're not there on Saturday.
Yeah, Sunday night, and it's not a holiday the next Monday, so there's some questions to be had there. Could you imagine a strip club serving pancakes like IHOP? I don't know if you want that kind of stickiness. Don't try to mix sex and sweets. It doesn't end very well. I'm just going to that. Did Rick get deported yet? Unfortunately, no. We're still working on it, but no, they have not hauled him away just yet. So I think it probably just.
Well, he's not here, is he?
Him. I think it's just Juarez just really doesn't want him, and that's kind of like the part. Like we're trying to negotiate him to send him back, but there's been a lot of pushback. Maurice Johnson, who said that Leslie. Who else do we got here? I want to make sure I get everyone before we get started. Oh yeah, Waffle House in the early 2000s. Yeah, I didn't go to Waffle House like 2005, so I would have no idea what that was back then. Yeah, cigarette smoking. Bon and Raj joining us here. Apparently there are a couple people picking Casablanca. I don't know why, but not going back to Haiti. It's like, no, yes, you are.
That actually, me and the boys are very glad. Oh, there it is. That you said that because your little banner's cutting off. So it's like the thing. So he's in the Master Chief armor.
Oh yeah.
And you have Mel Gibson in an orbital attack colony. Up there in space, station, and of course. Trump as Char from Mobile Suit Gundam. Operation Haiti. You like that? Operation Haiti.
I do. This is the image.
Well, I'm gonna make sure. Oh yeah, we'll get to this here in just a quick second.
I looked too quick at Orange's head, and it looked like it was like a split open fruit there for a second, like it was one of those fruit salad things. Where like it has the orange on top is like, yay, I'm an orange. And I was like, what is he doing?
At the wrong angle, or if he dips his head down too low, it's very, stop it. It's very strange.
He's doing it
Yeah.
on purpose now.
I know.
The movie was filmed at the beginning of last year. So I mean, who knows? I don't know if Kamala Harris had made because her decision was much later. But I mean, I think they were trying to allude to something there. We'll talk about that here in a bit. Yeah, Daisy Ridley. I literally just said this before we went live too. That is basically female Die Hard. We'll show you that trailer later on here as well. Make sure that we're caught up here. They say you guys are hating on most women, not all women, just most of them.
Leslie, you are not a woman that I can hate. So let's just
my
say that.
My boss is in the other room.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, women are generally awful.
Like
What?
there's like 4 women on the show in rotation, and Leslie, you're like one of 2 that I actually like. So yeah, there you go.
And the thing, I was engaged 3 times. If there's somebody that's got an axe to grind here, you're looking at him, okay? Like,
That's pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you really want my excuse for not hating women? All right, well, here it is.
Anyway, let's go to our first topic
We
here.
don't care. We really don't care. Jesus Christ.
First topic. Cynthia Erivo is playing Jesus Christ in a play in Hollywood. So this is something that broke today. I did a video on this on the 511, and I said some very interesting things in that video, but I didn't want to break this down here on this show here as well, because there's a lot to uncover here. Cynthia Erivo, who you know as the star of a movie unironically entitled Wicked. Did you guys catch the subtlety there? What's
Very
happening?
subtle.
The woman who we've said for months looks like a demon is now apparently acting like one too, because she is going to be in a new play that is quite literally intentionally made to be extremely blasphemous towards Jesus Christ, called Jesus Christ Superstar. This is a production of Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice at the Hollywood Bowl. She's going to be starring in this thing for a couple of days in August. So they're hyping this up in Variety. But yeah, she shared the news on Instagram that she's no stranger to the show, having starred as Mary Magdalene at one point in the all-female version of the musical in 2020. So she's done this before. But yeah, she's going to be through August 1st to August 3rd. She'll be starring in this one as well. Now, Variety is going to do their spin about what the play is actually about. But like I said, when you actually go in deeply into what this play is, you realize that this was made by people who quite literally hate Jesus Christ. Here's what I mean by this, is that the play essentially takes the Gospels, the 4 Gospels being Matthew, Luke, Mark, and John, and perverts them in every way, shape, or form to make the enemies of Christ look like the good guy and to make Christ and his followers themselves to be the bad guy, to the point where the focal point of the actual play is Judas Iscariot. As you guys know, Judas, one of the only 2 people in the entire Bible called the son of perdition, meaning that he was basically damned to hell for the fulfillment of scripture, right? They frame him to be the hero, the pseudo hero of the story, where he turns on Jesus because he's concerned, dissatisfied about the teachings of his disciples and worried that, you know, the teachings of Christ can actually affect people negatively. So he literally runs to the Pharisees and the Sadducees to set up Christ to save the world, which is exactly what the Bible tells us there, right? So, I mean, very subtle in terms of that. They also pervert a whole bunch of things in the story where Christ really doesn't care too much about, you know, the disciples or the people around him, constantly refusing to, you know, do miracles because, you know, there's too many people around, and he just gives him the ick, stuff like that. Even goes as far to suggest that there may have been some kind of sexual relationship between Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. So understand this, and I said this earlier today, and this is something that I'm going to stand on here. People ask themselves all the time, and you probably heard it today too, it's like, oh, why don't they do this for Muhammad? Why don't they do this for Buddha? Why don't they do this for Joseph Smith? I'm giving that to you very plainly here. These people simply hate God. There's no other way of sugarcoating it. These people simply hate God, and the reason why they're doing this is because there is no other truth in the names of Buddha or Brahma or Joseph Smith or any of these other people we pop up here. There's only truth in one name, and there's a reason why this name gets attacked more than anyone else. And I look at Cynthia Erivo and I think to myself, if there was a visual representation of rebelling against God himself. It would look like this woman here. It seems like that she has done everything that she can to go against the fact that, you know, she was maybe made in God's image. So she's done everything to look as ghoulish as humanly possible. And she's being celebrated right now for a film entitled Wicked, which is a movie about how the Wicked Witch actually wasn't as wicked as everyone thought that she was. So you notice there's a little trend here of turning good into evil and evil into good, especially involving this woman here. She, keep in mind, just in case you guys didn't realize, she's queer, bisexual, currently in a lesbian relationship with Lena Rife, who is a terrible writer and director. If you guys recall, I did a review of Queen and Slim a number of years ago that got banned by Letterboxd a couple of times because they wouldn't let me tell everyone that that movie was a giant pile of crap. And for some reason, it says on Wikipedia that she's Roman Catholic. I'm going to press X to doubt very, very harshly on that one. But understand with this going on right now, she's making the award circuit rounds. You know, she's being nominated for her performance in Wicked. She's being nominated in Golden Globes, SAGs, the BAFTAs, the Academy Awards coming up. I think they even tried to do her for the Grammys as well. So in a lot of ways, you're looking at Hollywood's it girl for all of the wrong reasons. And now you have this announcement today about how she's going to be starring as Jesus Christ. So she'll be playing a black female non-binary bald Jesus. So that's where we're at right now. Saying this just from a Christian perspective here, I'm not surprised about Hollywood does the things that they do now, because I kind of just expect them. Like, when you accept the fact that evil is just evil, you shouldn't be surprised when evil acts as evil. And that's kind of where we're at right now with this particular story and this particular woman. I'm going to flip this over to some of you guys here in the chat. I don't know if our buddy Culture Casino's here, if he's like eating pasta and potatoes off screen. So we're going to start here with, oh, there he is. He is, in fact, eating pasta and potatoes behind the scenes there.
Oh, yeah, I had dinner brought to me.
Mhm.
First of all,
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't have the same perspective as you do about the original musical, the 71 play and the 73 film. I didn't see as much of the blasphemous side of it. I understand that it has a more empathizing view of Judas. Can't deny that. Absolutely true. But I think that the thing that bothers me the most is it's a woman playing a male character, obviously the Lord and Savior. So that bothers me. Even the Catholic bishops at the time that came together to talk about this specific thing say it was a little bit misguided, more of a secular view of the works of the Bible, the four primary things, the books of the New Testament initially. So I just have a different perspective, that it was all, intended in a bad way. I think over time it's been perverted that way. I will agree with that. And I think that when you look at the limited number of performances she's in, this is just a stunt. It's a Hollywood stunt, in my opinion, for it to be done this way. I mean, she points to her experience playing a different character in the all women's version, but look, she's not any less bad. I'm not saying that. She's pretty terrible. And most everything that she's done has been pretty terrible, Jacob. So we agree largely on that. I'll just say that, I don't agree with the overall characterization of the musical itself. Tim Rice wrote great lyrics, and obviously Andrew Lloyd Webber put together, pretty good music. This is something that, having experienced the actual musical in a very large theater, I would say that as presented, it is portraying another side of the story, but it isn't necessarily defying
Demonic?
the deity or denying. Yeah, it's not denying the deity of.
Well, it kind of does, because towards the end they deny the resurrection of Christ, which is kind of the big tenet of Christianity: death, burial, and resurrection, and they go out of their way to forego that last one almost intentionally. And I will counter it at this part. Like, I think that if you're looking at it solely as a play and you're not kind of looking at it from the deeper biblical context of the stories derived from, you may see it like that. But for someone who kind of knows like the deeper biblical context of the themes of the story, it's very, very. I don't know if it's started off that originally, but it's very, very wicked from who the characters choose to focus on. Like, there's a reason why they chose the one person in the Bible who portrayed Christ or betrayed Christ being Judas. There's a reason why a lot of the context of the Pharisees and the Sadducees and certain characters have been flipped to where, like you said, they're showing him in a quote a new light. Why is that the enemies of Christ in the story of the Bible are suddenly now the heroes of this story? And it's far deeper than many will understand on a surface level. But the deeper you look into it, you see what's really happening here. It's basically a complete perversion of the four gospels in biblical context.
Oh, well, again, it is indeed a secular portrayal of the gospel, the four primary books of the New Testament. It definitely is. It's presented that way, and it's unapologetic about it. Yep. Right? It's just it's telling the story, removing a level of devout preservation as perhaps is a better way to say that. So when you look at it, it's definitely different. But again, I never found it at all particularly offensive. I can understand and acquiesce to your position on it. All I'll say is, for most people who would never have been touched by the story of Jesus, this is a pretty mainstream way for them to get the gist of it. And this was back again in the 70s. So you have to remember when this was originally put together. Now it's being repurposed into perhaps a very foul way, I would say, based on the casting. I would agree with you. Yeah.
To me, like what you just said there, kind of cringe when I hear that, because it's like, if this is your introduction into who Jesus is, then it's like,
you know what? Sometimes you have to go where the sinners are, Jacob.
But if you're not giving them the real Jesus, you're just giving them a false one, and that's kind of what you're doing here.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, I'm a big believer in Matthew 24:24. So, I don't want presented to me false prophets, but that's neither here nor there. This particular instance and this particular person portraying this version of Jesus Christ is offensive to many, including myself. So I'm with you. I'm just saying I'm not sure I would characterize the original play / musical quite as harshly as you did. So there's that.
Well, why are old men eating on my stream right now? What's going on?
I'm hungry.
Rob, I was talking to you. I was talking about the old guy who's on my stream. Well, we'll get to you guys here in a second. Rob, I want to shoot over to you real quick, and then jump over to Cider. What's kind of your take on Cynthia Erivo's here new role as Jesus Christ?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why they cast her in Wicked. She kind of looks like a witch. Outside of that, I'm not really sure. For this, she's going to play Jesus. She's going to be a bald, black, gay Jesus. I don't see it. I have no interest in seeing this.
Yeah, your mic's kind of going in and out just a little bit there. So it's like, we hear almost every couple of words, then it kind of zones out and come back in. Yeah, we'll give you a minute to fix that real quick. We'll jump over to Cider. Cider, what's your thoughts here on the story?
All of it's kind of a problem. That's all. It's not for me. If somebody wants to enjoy that and find, like as Culture was suggesting, a curiosity in the actual teachings of Christ, then great. But for me, I'm not going to be the guy that recommends it to anybody. I won't stand here and be like, hey, you're evil for observing that and perhaps deriving a few chuckles out of however they decided to present something. That's fine, because I don't think Jesus is going to send you to hell for that one. I don't think God's going to send you to hell for laughing at something that's deliberately going out of its way to make a circus out of the story. Of course, confronted with absurdity, you would laugh. But the I'm not going to recommend it. Not any form of it, not the new one, not the old one, not any of it. It's just one of those things. It's the line I draw in the sand with a lot of this stuff. I don't hate people who, like I said, who enjoy it and stuff like that. I don't hate people who perform in it. It's just one of those things like the strip club that serves pancakes. You probably won't ever find me there,
Mm-hmm. Probably for the same reasons, right?
Right, but I'm not going to chain myself to the door to make sure you can't get in there,
Yeah. I agree. Orange Hat, what is your take on this story?
Well, every time I see Cynthia Erivo, I just want to dump a bucket of water on her and hope she actually melts, because that woman is, well,
a ghoul.
She does.
Yeah, she's a fucking. I mean, now that she's actually playing Jesus in this Jesus Christ Superstar, I mean, it's the demon, the heretic, and the false god all in fucking one. And I really think that, I mean, I'm not a person who has watched Jesus Christ Superstar. I do understand that it is indeed a get that fucking disease off of the screen, please. It's visual cancer at this point. But yeah, I'm not gonna watch it. I think that it's absolutely fucking blasphemous. And if Hollywood is not going to allow people to make fun of the Jewish religion, the Taoist, Buddhist, frickin' Islamist, and all the other religions, if you are not willing to allow mockery of those religions, then you should not be mocking the only religion that actually has, well, sort of a capital of the fucking religious world. I mean, what other religion has a literal city? Well, aside from Israel. But honestly,
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
But anyway, the point is, this Hollywood wonders why it's dying. Hollywood literally wonders, why are we declining? Because you're doing stupid shit like this. You're constantly doing stupid shit like this. And you are making a mockery of people's beliefs. Of course, you are going to piss off every fucking buddy, except for that 200 in their actual mama's basements, because they're fucking losers that don't want to fucking get a job and shit. And yet you pull this shit and you think that it's going to make money. It isn't. I guarantee you. You will make, like, I don't know, fucking $10,000 on your opening day, opening week. What is this, a play or a movie? Is it a movie?
I think it's a musical.
The play / musical, essentially.
So, okay, so it's a musical. Well, nobody fucking cares about musicals either. I mean, honestly, last time I went to a musical, I was fucking 13, and it was the Phantom of the Opera. I loved it.
I thought you were going to
But it didn't have some bald fucking gay freak. And yes, I'm using freak in its actual definition term, folks. Something out of the ordinary. This woman shaves her fucking eyebrows. That's out of the ordinary. That's fucking freaky. And she has these long fucking talons.
It's almost as if she looks like the demon that's possessing her, right? Like,
pretty much, yeah. But the point is, nobody wants to see that shit.
Yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber actually did both of these. Just want to throw that out there. I do like Phantom of the Opera. I am a fan of that, but this I don't know who this is for. Again, it's she has been
Satanists.
Wicked did really well, so I can understand why she's offered this, but I think this is just a live performance at the Hollywood Bowl. And if I'm familiar, it's where they have a lot of music concerts. It's a cool venue, in LA or in Hollywood, but again, I'm not sure why you would want to put this on, but maybe it's for people in LA. Maybe it's and that's a very select cultural scene. I don't know. I don't have any really because I never saw the musical. I never saw the movie that was based on the musical, so I can't really comment if it's blasphemous. But I like The Last Temptation of Christ. You know what I mean? Like that. Catholics absolutely lost their shit in the late '80s when that came out. So I guess it just depends on how you look at it. But Cynthia Erivo, like her appearance is almost like anti-beauty, anti-art. It's almost like the opposite of what is supposed to be celebrated in these dramatic art forms, theater, movies, whatever. So I think just for anybody seeing it, it's like it's sort of the besides the point. So if it's just going to be like this one performance, I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen with it past that, but we'll see how it does.
Rick, some people are here happy to see you. You didn't get deported yet, so what's your thoughts here on Cynthia Erivo playing Jesus?
Yeah, it's stunt casting. It's just for publicity. It's meant to shock, I guess. It- I'm not shocked. I'm I'm just not interested, and I'm probably one of the few people who would mount something of a defense for Erivo. I do think that she does have talent. I did see her in Harriet, the Harriet Tubman biopic. I thought she was very good in that. But this is just to, I don't know if this is meant to anger people. I guess it did. Me, I was like, I'm not impressed. I'm not shocked. I'm almost bored by how predictable they are in this sort of stunt casting. It's probably just like a one night or two night performance. It's not impressive. And just for the record, I want to say that I have seen the movie Jesus Christ Superstar, and let me tell you, I actually saw the movie when I was doing, believe confirmation for when I was a Catholic. So they actually put that movie as part of our confirmation class. I don't know what that tells you about the Catholic Church or the state of it, but you do have at least one song that people do know from this. I think maybe two. Jesus Christ Superstar, the actual song, and then I Don't Know How to Love Him, which is Mary Magdalene's big number. But again, for this, like, I don't care because it's silliness. It's meant to shock. It's meant to anger, I guess. But I think so many people are just beyond the point of being shocked or angered. They have more important concerns, like the price of eggs and whether I get thrown out of the country. Every. But at least the thing people should know, I have shelter. Someone has promised to shelter me for the next 4 years, so I'm good. No, nobody worry about me. I'm all right. Nobody worry about me.
Yeah, for now.
I'm sorry. What? What? I need to get your address. I got to send you something.
Was it AOC?
No. Besides,
Yeah,
she's
give
Puerto Rican.
culture.
Why would she even bother protecting Mexico?
Give culture your address. He's totally not going to report you to ICE.
No, I know I got something to send you, my friend. You're gonna love it.
It's called a Firing Squad. Yeah.
Well, Spencer, I keep waiting for you to legalize me through marriage. So, like, come on, get a move on.
I will say this is kind of a little wrap here for this topic. If you guys realize, we've been doing a series over the last 3 weeks for the Bible Lens, talking about the history of the Satanic Panic, and we've been focusing primarily in the time frame of like the 50s to the 70s in the last 3 weeks. But I'll just say it very, very bluntly here. I don't really think that this is about angering Christians or trying to get attention or anything like that. I think we've just reached a point where we have to start being honest about who these people really truly are. As I said at the very, very beginning of this, if you look like a demon, you start acting like a demon, you may just be a freaking demon. And I think that a lot of these people have pretty much made the choice of who they are going to side with. And then if it's a war against God and Satan, they certainly have not picked God. I think that these people are more and more openly now pretty much telling you exactly who they are. It's not just in the film industry. You see this dominating in the music industry. We just had a conversation about this last week when we were talking about the Lady Gaga new music video and her connection to well-known Satanists in the industry and stuff like that. And we've talked about this multiple times here on this show. I think we're just at a point now where people are going to have to start accepting the fact that in a realm where if you want to believe that God is real and God is not real and have that whole argument, there are certainly people out there who believe that the devil is real, and I think they're following him more than they're following anyone else in this story here. So when I look at Cynthia, when I just see everything about her life, and then when I'm seeing this whole thing, I think I'm just going check, and check to someone's true intentions about what's going on behind closed doors here in Hollywood. Now, if you have not seen our Satanic Panic series that we're working on the first 3 weeks, go back and check that out on the YouTube channel. It's on Rumble as well. Very, very informative stuff, and I probably just single-handedly ruined every artist that you guys enjoyed from the 1950s to at least 1980 up to this point. So like I said, when you start actually seeing and understanding like what's going on here, it does start making a lot more sense. And I think that these people are just the ghouls that we all expect them to be. But I will give this over to you real quick. Any final thoughts on this story before we move on to our next one?
I haven't seen your series, but if you tell me that Doris Day was involved in Satanism, I'll just be devastated beyond anything.
Well, I mean, there's a few names that we dropped there. I don't think that she's one of them, at least not yet.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Good.
So-
Good.
All right. Well, back to the actual conversation. This lady's crazy, and maybe the personification of evil. And this is a stunt. And other than that, I just want her to go away.
Unfortunately, I don't think she's going away anytime soon. I think she's Hollywood's new darling, whether we want it or not. And
Not with
it's
the
women,
sequel.
it's-
Not with the sequel coming up.
I'm
who
just going to tell
knows?
you that sequel's not going to do very well. I think a lot of people are going to be turned off of the from the new manufacture of new songs, the manufacture of new content, going with something that they beloved in an actual theater experience. Again, I mean, this is every theater kid's like dream, is this thing coming out in a film version, and they're going to be very disheartened at what's actually going to be coming of this in a film version in part 2. You have to remember, most people didn't realize when this thing came out, it was 2 parts. Wasn't supposed to be.
They did, and it was like 2 hour and 50-minute part 1. It wasn't even like a short
Yeah.
part 1. It was
Yeah.
it was an experience, as I would like to call it.
Yeah. I didn't know it was going to be a 2-parter until the title said Wicked Part 1. And I'm like, what?
Mhm. Gotcha.
That actually didn't even arrive until they released it. They were trying to hide that as long as they could.
They should have just like played that whole Dave Chappelle bit, like "Gotcha, bitch," and just pulled that one as soon as they suckered you in.
And I look, I'm not sure that that it will have the same response as the original, the part 1. I'm very certain that between the interim and when this lady continues to run her mouth and maybe, become an actual skeleton, and Ariana Grande does the same. Have you seen the fact that both of these ladies look like they've been like on a hunger strike for 700 years?
Like I said, we're
Emaciated.
getting to a point now where it's like I keep saying this, and people are kind of like teetering on the fence. We may just want to accept that these people are just evil and that they look like demons and that they look like witches, and it's not like a shtick. Like maybe there's some real to it, because the whole thing of like Wicked leading up to the movie itself was like, are these 2 people dying? Because they look like they're actively dying, and they still look like they actively have some kind of illness that. No, I don't know. Is this like a Chadwick Boseman situation here, or is there something a lot deeper and a lot more sinister going on behind the shell here? But something's clearly not right here, and I'm just coming here like ringing a bell, like, may want to look into this. Well, like I said, I got an episode of the 511 that's coming out hopefully tomorrow that you guys can check out. And I think my opening line from that one is that I'd rather tongue kiss a coppermouth than, be in judgment in Cynthia when this is all said and done. Let's just say that it's not exactly a situation that you would like to be in at this point in time.
Jacob's out here like Paul Revere, ringing that bell. The ugly bitches are coming. The ugly bitches are coming. Ringing the bell.
Oh man, wearing a Hooter
all I
shirt.
will say is that they are.
Hooter
Or I'm
shirt.
gonna for now on call these women DCs, daft. See you next Tuesdays, because honestly, it just works better with an Irish accent. Also, you're a daft. You know what? But
Yep.
that's what I'm gonna start calling them for now on, because they're daft and they're see you next Tuesdays. That's all I'm gonna say.
By the way,
For-
really quick
finalize.
unrelated note here, in our chat earlier this week I did make a mention about if Tom Holland wants to actually start being an action star that people will take seriously, he needs to get on that Conor McGregor diet. If you guys know what I mean, it means he needs to take all the steroids and cocaine if he wants to be a realistic superhero at 5'6". So that's all I'm going to say there.
Yeah, just being with Zendaya isn't enough.
That's another one that we can have questions about. But let's talk about
Why do you
female-led
think he
action
got that
movies.
show? Or he did that show. It's because he was with Zendaya, so that's why he got with all those black men.
Yeah, pumping and dumping. Let's talk about female-led action stars here. There's two movies that got a lot of attention this week. These are movies that are coming out soon, some sooner than others, but the trailers got released last week and they got a lot of people talking, and not for anything good. So let's start with our first film here. This is a film that Amazon is coming out with. This is not a theatrical movie. I think they know better. This is a film that's coming out on Amazon Prime in 2 months called The G20, and it stars Viola Davis as the president of the United States, who gets kidnapped by terrorists at a G20 summit, and she literally has to Rambo her way out of the situation. So keep in mind, Viola Davis, 60-year-old black woman, dressed quite unironically as Rambo in the movie, where she is one-man arming the entire unit here. So we're going to play this trailer here for the first movie and then talk about this in more detail. This is the trailer for G20. And I have to emphasize here, this is not AI. This is not a rib. It is not April. This is a real film. So here we go.
Madam President, we have a situation. Ma'am, apprehension is minutes away.
A little much, don't you think, Mom?
Zip it.
You and your brother are coming to Cape Town with us.
Why?
You know why.
All you ever care about is work.
I implore all world leaders to join me at the G20 summit.
Come on, Madam President.
Oh, damn. Now we gotta go save the world.
Yes, for those asking, that is in fact Anthony Anderson. I know some people were questioning earlier that this is real. By the way, like I said, not a rib. This is not a Saturday Night Live skit. This is a real movie that Amazon put money into this.
The 20 most powerful world leaders together, going dark in 3, 2, 1. To the governments watching, I've taken the G20 by force. When we launch Project Deepfake,
I'm
we will
gonna
reset
tickle
the
their
world's
balls.
financial markets. You gotta read the words exactly.
Is that supposed to be a South African accent or an Australian accent?
Both.
I think the latter, but no clue.
Okay. Because I have no idea where that guy's from. That's like I couldn't tell.
Maybe it's New Zealand. I don't know. I can't tell the difference.
It's even worse. Where's he from? Just real quick, let me just check this out here.
Where's George Soros from?
Is he
somewhere
German?
on the Eastern European
Tartarus.
Yeah.
Oh God, Rob is right. It is New Zealand, so it is worse. Yeah,
Those Kiwis just do that little haka dance. That's what.
How I would describe it is it's a more obnoxious Australian. So Australian is an obnoxious accent enough, but then you just give an extra like twang. I can't quite explain it, but yeah, it's just like it's even more.
He sounds
abrasive.
just like David Cohen, so that it must be something in the water
Yeah.
there in New Zealand. So
Only thing I know about New Zealand is how bizarre that song. That was New Zealand.
I would say the 23 microclimates you can grow any kind of special flower anywhere there, and you can go from snorkeling to skiing in a couple of hours. So pretty awesome.
well, there's still another half of a trailer.
Oh, plus Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Just so you guys were wondering, we're not even like a minute into this thing.
As written. Quick beige fox. Quick beige fox. Quick beige fox. Now we control the narrative.
About beige foxes.
My husband and kids are missing. We have to find them. If you want to live, you'll follow my lead. Now you're Captain America.
She literally did the "come with me if you want to live." She quite literally just did that in the series. Oh boy. Like, oh, I saw her do it.
Yeah, she's not fighting him. They're just slipping in their own vomit like that Family Guy skit where they all drank cack.
So we're not going to get one of those. It's so bad it's good, are we? It's not going to even be one of those.
I don't even know because they're taking this so seriously, and it's like Can you just imagine like somebody's grandma jumping into an elevator smelling like shea butter and cocoa cream, like just taking the crap out of 4 armed guards in a tight concealed space? Like, what are we doing here, guys?
In that dress.
How did this pass a pitch meeting?
Tactical Mima.
It's like that meme. You know how it passed the meeting. It was DEI horseshit.
Yeah, there's no
first
reason.
2 seconds of this trailer, my interest level was flatlining. Now it is. I am beyond flatlined right now.
I'm surprised there was
My
any
own
interest.
my interest level literally just signed a DNR.
I can literally feel the soul being removed from my body at this point.
But wait, there's more.
I love all these over 50 actors and actresses that suck on the teat of the DEI ESG bullshit being in this particular production. And you know what? Anthony sucks ass, so fuck him.
Anthony looked better when he was fat. And as for Viola Davis, you're not fucking Sylvester Stallone. Get your ass back in the kitchen.
Just for the record, we're not even finished with the trailer.
For the record, there, Orange Hat.
I don't even want
Viola Davis is too old for the kitchen. Like that's where we're at now.
Let's keep this rolling. I'm curious to see where this goes.
Yeah, there's more.
That was quite well done.
They've got at least 5 hostages in the kitchen.
Your survival is what matters most.
I will not leave them.
Drop it!
Guns, 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 guns.
Guns.
President Danielle Sutton.
What?
You get around, don't you?
I'll get around to you too.
Mom, I can help.
Lights out.
Find her.
Where are my husband and kids?
We're all here together.
I'm gonna get you out of here. What if we get you into a comfortable pair of heels? Do you want an honest answer?
That's a real movie that's coming to Amazon Prime in 2 months.
All right.
So we're going to need to take just a small break here before I get to the next film. But what is your thoughts on G20 culture? I will start with you.
What was the film with the bunch of chicks that released in theaters that earned like $7 like a year ago?
You got to be more specific than that. There's been a few.
They wanted to be like the chick version of the Untouchables. Lots of red in their marketing.
The 377, the 355.
Yes, the 357 or the 573 or the
Number 2069. Yes.
Yes, yeah. Well, no, they're cheaper than that, dude. You can pick them up for like $1.57 on the corner. But anyway, dude, yeah, those are $3 hookers on nickel night. No, this is, but yeah, I think it was the 357 or the 750-37, whatever. That's this movie. It's the same kind of garbage tier woke sauce that the audiences have been rejecting across the board. Amazon can waste all the money they want. They have very deep pockets. I don't care. This type of thing I have no interest in. I'm more interested in a film I didn't even know was actually going to come out that apparently we're going to cover in a minute. And that's only because I'm going to review it for the lulz. This thing, I'm not even looking at. Amazon makes very little good things. So there's that.
Yeah, there are marginally better Netflix at this point because mostly all of Netflix's crap is exactly that. So
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think. Amazon did a chick power series not that long ago that was halfway decent, but this has no prayer. It's not believable. If we thought that a 5'2" skinny chick sidekick Mossad agent in Sabra was ridiculous in Captain America 4, then this is more ridiculous.
I refuse to believe that chick is any higher than 4'11". Like you see her in that.
I'm just telling you what the production information came out with was 5'2". I think she's much shorter than that. But
I'll put that. When I saw the movie and I was writing my notes, I actually wrote midget when her character popped up. I thought, I mean, for me, and like I said in my review, if you can believe that Linda Hunt could take down Alan Ritchson from Reacher, then you can believe that this woman could take down all of these men. Because I actually thought she was a midget. I thought, this is a tiny, tiny, tiny woman.
She's 30 years old, but because of past, issue of kidney cancer in her youth, she looks half her age. So in the movie, she looks 15, and she's like 4'11", and everyone in the film is like 3 times her size and at least 2 feet taller than her. So it's very, very awkward to try to believe that somehow she's in any way, shape, or form like someone's number 2. Even in the realm of a superhero universe, you kind of have to be like, really? I mean, you're shorter than Wolverine. Like, at what point do we just throw away the believability factor into this? But that's a whole other movie. Oh, go ahead.
We saw her like throw that guy onto the grill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Oh, in this film, yeah,
yeah, and so it's when you think about a midget doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tiny person, if you will. That's much more impressive than whatever the stunt coordinator said. Just lean on him, and this man who is the size of Seth Rollins will simply just fall into a grill because oopsies, gravity, I guess.
All right. Well, I mean, come on, like hip toss skills, bro. She's playing a lot of hockey for Canada.
Yeah, right.
With
Canada.
So this is
with this project here, I don't know if it is true that people were expecting Kamala to sweep in, and this is supposed to be a version of Kamala as they see her. Now, if we saw the trailer, there's a little hint that she was like a soldier because it had a picture of her in Fallujah, and you got to see the cape, which is very Superman-like in her ensemble. So I just wonder what it is about Viola Davis specifically that she feels compelled to try to play action heroes or heroines in her age, because like I said, are we going to find out that she's a direct descendant of the Woman King? Because she did this already, the Woman King. She tries to be an action star, and now we have this. It's a bit of a stretch. I mean, you could possibly pass this off when Harrison Ford had Air Force One hijacked, but I don't know if this is going to work. If it's going to be remotely, I don't know. Again, as I keep saying, who's the target audience? Who really is going to see Viola Davis take down an international smorgasbord of New Zealand terrorists?
I know. We call this. There's a new thing on Netflix that what started like about, I don't know, 8-10 years ago now. They're called geezer pleasers, right? So these are the movies that were mostly like Bruce Willis just doing crazy action stuff with like him not being the action guy doing the thing. A stunt actor that never faces the camera who has been shaven bald is doing the acting while he's in a room somewhere. And so like Vice is one of these, is where he has to beat Thomas Jane's ass or something like that because of robots. Anyway, these movies are made for old men, where you have like the Expendables, all these guys who are like way up there in their 60s should not be like doing anything more rigorous than a jog around the neighborhood, going out here and blowing up, military bases, overthrowing governments. And so the other end of this is that Hollywood, as usual, thinks they're intelligent, and they say, well, if it works for men, we're going to Charlie's Angels this. We're going to take all the majesty and intrigue out of a woman president in peril, and fighting her way out. And we're just going to turn it into an action movie that you would just see a regular old Jet Li character doing. Even though it's a 50-year-old, 55-year-old black woman doing this. And it's not that she's black. It's just, it's a comedic effect that you have this. Ordinarily, women of that age who are black are like, ain't no way. No, you're going to shoot me before you're going to move me out of the seat. They've had enough,
Listen, I would believe CCH Pounder, in that role more than, and Viola Davis is a good actress. But she's not suited for this kind of thing. And here's the thing. You're alienating the audience this is for. People who watch this are like White House Down or Olympus Has Fallen. Like that's kind of what you're going for, but you're trying to do it through where the main character is a female president. And so you're forcing the square peg in a round hole, and you're creating an obstacle for yourself instead of just delivering on, a general action narrative. It's like, stop forcing the female can do everything a man can do. Please stop. Can we please stop this? You didn't figure this out already. We haven't figured this out for the last 40 or 50 years, where it's like, if you're going to have a female action protagonist, you have to make it relatively believable.
Yeah.
So you're saying a 60-year-old black woman is not believable? Like, there's some scenes in this film where Viola Davis looks like my mother. So I'm trying to imagine my mother like beating up a 4 armed guards in a small elevator
solution.
With
It's
a
simple
purse,
solution,
perhaps.
Jacob. Well, no, it's that stupid chip from that movie where the guy was controlled by the AI and he could do super kung fu and stuff like that. It's that harness
upgrade.
that
Upgrade.
Matt Damon was wearing in the movie about the space perfection Elysium there. It's the Iron Patriot suit. It's the mechanical equalizer that allows her to exceed what is normally expected of a female of that age.
Okay, but
It's
Cider,
perfectly fine.
speaking of Equalizer, why didn't they get Queen Latifah to do this role?
That's
I
true.
mean,
You got me.
she can't lift her leg above her knee when she kicks people in that show. Equalizer,
Dropping her through an
so,
elevator
I mean,
shaft makes sense.
Yeah. But if I'm going to agree with anybody, it's going to be Latino slant, because Angela Bassett would have been much better for this role. She's ageless.
All of these women have diabetes. That's the real answer.
Why isn't it Rihanna? Let's be real. Why isn't it Rihanna? Come on. Why isn't it President Rihanna?
I got a better question. Why is it a woman?
Here we go.
Because we know that we are in the future when a female is president. Just like we used to be in the future when you had a black man as president. Now we need to have a female president.
Yes,
I can't believe that the people here can't believe that a President Stacey Abrams could take down an entire federation.
An entire all-you-can-eat buffet?
Yeah.
All she would need to do is get on her side and roll if it was Stacey Abrams. But as I was saying,
he was president of
you know
the
what?
world.
She could have just fell down the elevator and taken him out.
Exactly. But the thing is,
It's
Rick
the Wile E.
actually had a
Coyote
point.
whistle as she's falling.
You guys joke, but something the size of her is about to hit this planet here in just a few years.
Good.
It's gonna cause a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, making fun
But
of the real
as
governor of Georgia. That's wrong.
Rick actually had a point. I believe that this
He
movie
did?
was actually made with the hopes that Kamala Harris was going to win the presidency.
Yeah, they wanted
Because
Kamala
I
Dalla
do-
Ding Dong. So did
Yeah, I believe that they were going to say, look what a strong black woman can do as president. There's just one problem, folks. Kamala Harris ain't black.
Well, I mean, she's a little black. Kind of like
She's
had a little black
Her
before.
father isn't even black.
Okay,
Her
but
father has even said he isn't black.
yeah, well, yeah.
Her father-
The
probably.
liquor that
She's
she
full
drinks
of
is
shit.
brown.
Yeah, she drinks a lot of brown
She's
liquor.
fucking
Speaking
full
of,
shit.
look, you want to talk Kamala? I'm going to tell you, she has real talent, at least according to CAA. They just signed her, just like they signed Joe Biden.
She's got real talent, according to Willie Brown.
Well,
By the way,
her
I covered that Joe Biden signing with CAA and the connections that CAA.
yeah, well,
has. Very interesting.
I know. Well, Kamala just signed with
Is
him
he even
too.
going to be alive by the end of this year?
I
After
don't
they
know.
took him off his dementia meds from the White House, now that he no longer has access to them, that dude is dead by the end of the year. I guarantee you.
He's not very smart.
And I'm not wishing it. I'm just being realistic.
No, it's fine. I look. Kamala's look. Sometimes talent's found on your knees. That's all I have to say about Kamala.
In prayer, you mean?
No.
Sure.
And sometimes they're found on their backside, when they're sitting down at the bar drinking.
Right? It's called heels up.
But I will say, as I've said many times, who is the target audience for this particular film that will believe that the direct descendant of the Woman King, who was elected president, is now going to take down single-handedly an international group of New Zealand terrorists just based on her skills as a warrior princess down in Iraq.
No, and to be completely fair and honest here, no one would believe this premise if it was a male president, right? Like, unless you're trying to make me believe like someone like Schwarzenegger or Stallone or Van Damme ever became president in the United States and started to kick people in the face. Even that's a ridiculous stretch for a male president.
No. They believed it
Air
with
Force
Harrison
One.
Ford. They believed in
Yeah, Air
Harrison
Force
Ford.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen Air Force One, by the way. I just know
So
what it's about.
when it comes down to this, again, when it comes down to the believability thing, it's that we all understand, your lizard brain especially understands this, that women, no matter what kind of physical prowess they reach, will never be the top physical prowess of a man. It could be, she can beat any man on the street, but she can never reach the most powerful man, no matter how powerful a female gets. It's just physiology is just how that balances out.
Verisimilitude, my friend, and that's
Verisimilitude,
that.
yep.
Yeah, and that's happened, and this is a normal thing, right? There are a few women that can make you believe that. Grace Jones, right? I was terrified of her as a young man. I'm like, holy crap, that woman could kill me.
Mayday, Mayday is one of the best Bond henchmen.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like it's limited to that. I mean, on the other side, Vila Jovovich, everybody believes is pretty, formidable, right? Maybe not in real life, but as the character,
got some moxie.
Yeah, and so when you look at stuff like that, you're like, okay, this person is put in a situation and in a role under a certain set of rules that make you believe they can do this.
Kill Bill.
Okay. Yeah, oh, indeed.
Yeah.
So like, and it's not like we don't love those movies, right? We do. We love them all. So if you present realistic things, we believe it. If you present unrealistic things, we laugh at you.
Right. Now, it's not that she is a black woman. It is not that she's old. It's that they are presenting her as being an unstoppable force while being an old woman. And that's the big problem, is that Harrison Ford was an old man with a gun on a plane. He was not doing kung fu. He was not springing from the ceiling. He wasn't wrestling.
He wasn't facing a man twice his size into a large grill.
He was an old man by the standard of physical.
Oh, Halle
combat.
Berry. Oh,
You know?
gosh, yeah. Okay,
You know?
so Halle Berry, we all believed, right? I mean, sorry, Latino Slant pulled me out there. Yeah, I just interrupted you. I'm sorry. Latino Slant put one of my favorite actresses in the chat, and I had to be ridiculous, so I apologize for that.
No, you're fine. And Gina Carano's another one we can believe, whoever the actress was.
But they are still relatively young compared to Viola Davis. I mean, we wouldn't believe this if they had Maggie Smith as the British Prime Minister taking down this international group of terrorists. That would just,
but yes,
but if she were alive. Well, we could go
Wasn't that
with
Teresa. What was it? Teresa Snow. What was that lady that just got out of there? Teresa, the British former Prime Minister lady. Teresa. Never mind. Nobody knows.
Yeah,
England's just an island somewhere in the ocean.
And I would say because I would agree, Kill Bill is excellent, but that movie is from the script level is understood from page one, where it's like it's stylized. It builds her character.
There it is.
Here's the thing: these movies, this Viola Davis movie does not respect the audience's intelligence. And here's the thing: this type of movie, you have to go pretty far to do that. Where you're going to present an action narrative, you're going to present a situation, and then just kind of completely drop the ball with, "Hey, you'll believe this, right? You'll buy this, right?"
Right.
Well, it's
that's why
real quick before we get too deep into this one, because we can parlay this one into our next film. But I just wanted to point this out just real quick. Patricia Regan is the director of this. She's apparently only directed a Disney Channel movie from 2011 called Lemonade Mouth. I'm pretty sure no one has ever heard of that. That's her only other director credit besides this film. And this film has not one, not two, not three, but 4 writers, 3 of them women. So if you guys are wondering if this is
the
going to be
fourth one
good,
a frog that just bounces over the keys? Is the fourth one a frog?
in all honesty, Cider, I'm not even making this up. If this movie was literally written by Ethan Van Sciver, it probably would have been a better movie. That's how low the bar is.
Yeah, okay.
That's how low the bar is here.
Okay. One last thing that covers both this movie and the next one we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
You get one big ask. One. These films ask way too much of the
Ask.
audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ask.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did
I was about to
say
say
it?
I don't think either one of them have a big ass, but
No.
not.
I'm sorry. I thought I was pronouncing it like Society Reviews. No, ask. Ask.
There we go.
Not axe. Okay. I'm gonna get killed for that. Sorry.
Yeah, so
wow, just one. All
They're
right.
gonna send Viola Davis to go and attack you.
I'm in trouble.
So what's our big ass?
What's the next audio
someone
cancer
who
that
someone
we
who's
gotta listen to?
Someone who certainly does not have a big ass is Daisy Ridley. Daisy Ridley.
That's right. That is for damn sure.
She has no ass, dude. She is like the Captain Marvel of Star Wars when it comes to ass.
She's got the
Yeah,
flattest,
butt cheeks for
boniest
her.
ass I've ever seen. She would be busted in two if she ever did anal.
What?
I don't want to picture these things.
Yeah,
She's negative ass. Anyway, sorry. Okay.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck is this world? What have they done to us? What did they do to?
Okay.
So Daisy Ridley, who's Rey Skywalker in the Disney films, she's in a film
Rey
called
Skywalker.
Cleaner. And if you guys have seen the movie Die Hard, imagine Die Hard with Daisy Ridley, and this is essentially what you have here. It's like a trailer for Cleaner.
Oh boy! Couldn't even wait for Bruce Willis to die to do this. I hate it already.
Joey,
There is
you
no
are late
woman
again,
who
so you
looks
still owe
like
me an
her.
hour.
This window
Get in.
cleaning.
We're hearing reports of an incident at the Agnian Tower.
Trick or treaters.
Oh, Clive Owen, he's still around.
Yes, that is in fact Clive Owen. He is not dead. He is still breathing, and he is apparently in this movie. So
I'm so sorry.
Far.
I kind of like Clive Owen, so it's a little disappointing to see. It's like, oh, boy.
This is a big
Hey,
downgrade from Midnight Meat Train. Let's put it
I wondered what
Yes.
happened to him. I wondered what happened to him.
So I hate this from every. There's no woman who looks like her that would be window cleaning. Not at
It's a
all.
terrible wig.
You have to have some suspension.
She looks
of
like.
disbelief.
But she looks like. Was it Ursa? What was the female Kryptonian from Superman 2? She
Ursa. I
looks
think
like,
it's Ursa.
she
Oh,
looks like
okay.
that one. I keep expecting her to start talking about Earthmen.
I just all I want to say is one big ask. That's it.
Yeah, that's all we want.
Okay, let's continue here.
999, what's your emergency?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Greedy.
No,
needy,
we're the central
cocky.
emergency
We're
reception.
gonna-
We have no idea that you're dangling.
Ma'am,
from a
you
building.
called us. Like
Right. Right.
I was
Hi, we're in a
waiting.
building.
I was waiting for the ma'am. This is a Wendy's, but that's fine.
Put
gonna
the
need you to
fries in
calm
the
down.
bags. Put the fries in the bag, Ray.
To shine a light on your crimes, so you will be worthless. Cheers.
Oh, great. Poor versus the rich.
Great to have you on board.
Any attempt to gain access, the whole building explodes.
Of course.
Someone got inside.
One of the cleaners. Find them.
Start climbing a
Hey, Joey,
building
get a grip.
noises, gentlemen.
Your brother needs you. Put it down.
Go fight.
How good it goes.
See if you can do better than the last 3 assholes you sent.
If I need the cleaner, ex-army.
You got this, Joey.
Everyone's got a personal, Joey.
If you touch him, I will end you.
No smoke without fire, right?
He's going to blow the building. I've got what he wants. You get as many people out as you can.
You want to hang this whole operation on a window cleaner who couldn't hack the army?
Somebody just asked the question here. It's like, why does she need short hair for this? She didn't. Would it have been worse if they just kept her hair long like normal? Like, did she need to have a boy haircut in this movie? Was that
Well,
necessary?
I
to the
suppose
plot?
because long hair might get tangled in some sort of machinery or glass or something. I'm trying to find
I've
the
seen
reason.
window cleaners who look like Danny Trejo. That is a lie.
they're
I'm gonna say something that sounds kind of stupid, but it's kind of a masculine job. So she has short hair because she's doing I don't know, because like window washers are pretty much always dudes. I don't know. Maybe
right.
you guys have a different life.
Surprising
experience
enough,
than that, but
there's not a lot of women who are willing to, stand on
Right.
40-story buildings to clean windows.
Dude, dangerous jobs, which is another issue with the whole supposed wage gap or whatever.
Yeah, this is DEI hard.
Keep going. Keep going. I'm fascinated now.
That was actually pretty good.
I was never there for you. This time I'm not gonna let you down. I know you need.
I'm gonna just rewind here just for a quick.
Is
second.
that Tasha Yar?
What
a
face.
This
What
is,
a face.
I just want to point this out here. Daisy really is not that old of a lad.
You sure
She's
about
only-
that? Look at her.
She's
You got her at a
only
bad
32. She is only 32 years old.
And she's got Graves' disease.
Oh, she's British. To be fair, they don't.
Well, wait a minute. Being out there in the wind and in the cold, that might affect. That might affect
Your face?
Yes.
Your face.
Okay.
It could freeze if you're up there washing the windows and like
freeze like that when you're up there.
Yeah. Your mom always told you, don't make that face. It might freeze that way.
But did she say that? Did she call this guy her dad?
No, it's her
No,
brother.
that's her
Oh,
brother.
your brother. Oh, I heard something about a dad.
Dude, what was it? I've been watching a lot of these videos that said that this generation's that generation's aging like milk. I'm like, all right then.
There's something in the water in that town, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Flint, Michigan.
Oh, let you down.
I know you need to
It's Tasha Yar.
Takes my mind off the massive fall and the dickheads with guns.
I think that was the credit, right?
So that is
Yes,
a movie entitled
Todd
Cleaner.
Sayar. All right. Now there's something
that's one real quick. That's a movie that's coming out
Grant,
this Friday.
Okay.
You liar. Okay, sorry.
I still haven't seen a movie this year, and I'm not going to now. Apparently,
I've seen.
Hold on a second. Are you guys saying that you're not down to like go to a movie theater and take one for the team and review this together next week here on this show?
I
I
don't know about
might.
coming back here. I'm going to see this.
I might.
I have two movie times to pick, Rick. I can go at either 7 or 9. If you give me your address, I'll send you tickets.
Well,
John McTiernan should sue somebody.
The Last
Look,
Jedi was 84 years ago.
It's been 84 years. My question. Look,
like I said, just real quick. Like, I get it. It's supposed to be like she's a hardened ex. Yeah, I didn't even tell you guys the premise of this movie, so I probably should start with that.
No, I don't care.
You didn't get that from the trailer?
Is that she's a dishonorably discharged but highly trained ex-soldier who works in the window cleaning business, and then of course a bunch of terrorists take over the building. Her brother's there. She tries to save her brother. It's like, guys, like
she washed out.
It almost is what they went out of their way to make her look far less attractive than she was in reality.
It may not have been that hard.
I mean, I get it. She has the body of Plank, but I don't think she's an unpleasing woman.
Unpleasing? Okay.
Unpleasing.
Not there, lady. She is not unpleasing.
She is not unpleasing.
It's real something there.
You need a
That's my new
t-shirt of
favorite
that,
word.
Jacob.
Yeah.
You need to change.
She's
you
not
need to
unpleasing.
It's giving me the
Merch
biggest
idea.
I reckon that she's not unpleasing. I
great.
do declare. I do declare.
Not unpleasing. That's
not
perfect.
unpleasing.
Put that on a license plate somehow.
She is definitely unpleasing.
Well, she is definitely not unpleasing. I could tell you that. I'll tell you that. She's not
That's not
unpleasing.
something I would hear from Foghorn Leghorn, Benoit Blanc.
Hey, look,
and Leslie made this point here too.
On a prison.
Cider will understand this reference. Cider, remember the last episode of In Space where like they destroy Zordon's like little case thing, and then like magical light goes everywhere and everyone becomes beautiful and pretty. It's like, is there a way we can just do that to this world? Because I hate where this world is going. This world kind of sucks.
Daisy Ridley is actually avoiding the male gaze. It's not the gaze she's worried about.
Yeah, it's true. That's
it's interesting. In the trailer, I never got the sense. The only thing I heard, I think it's Orange had commented also, was about that she washed out of the army. So I don't even, that's a difference between being dishonorably discharged and washing out.
Yeah.
Washing out to me says that she
washed
didn't
out
make
of
it
the
past it. So I don't
washed out of the army when the shower is flooded.
In Die Hard, John was a cop, so it made sense. So he had some kind of training. Here, we're just expected to believe that it's basically, minus that one line that they threw in, it was supposed to be, there's just like she's a regular
basic training
washing. Yeah, there's just basically a cleaning lady that able to take down this another international group of terrorists.
Look, and she has a very particular set of skills apparently that the army didn't recognize. Just saying.
Look,
she's probably rough and tough. That's why she got kicked out, dishonorably discharged from the military. Because she was too cool for that place.
The real tragedy of Cleaner is that Clive Owen has been reduced to this. That is the actual tragedy of the whole thing. This is an Oscar-nominated actor who was like well-known. Like he had a good career, and now look at where he is. I actually thought he had retired or had gone to like the West End and was concentrating on that. I did not know that this is his comeback. I don't know what to say.
He had a good run. To be fair, like you like actors, if you can stay in the spotlight for 20.
You cut out there at that last.
Yeah, that was weird. It was like silent.
You cut out. You cut out.
No, bro, your mic is giving you pitches.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, I know.
You're back.
It loves doing that. So I need to get it replaced. But basically, if you can have 20 years in the spotlight, you're doing pretty good. It looks like he's doing a Just for Men commercial with like how his hair's dyed, and it's just whatever. Maybe they gave him $1 million for this, or $500,000 or something along those lines. But it is a little depressing to see that. But I don't know who's going to go see this movie. It looks like an utter train wreck.
Apparently, Jacob and myself and Cultural Casino are going to go see it.
And Rob, we can bully Rob into watching it too.
Yeah,
it's not that bad. But no, it's like this. The other problem with this movie is that this comes out this Friday. No one even knows that this movie even exists. Like I brought it up to several people had never even heard it, and this is like I know this. What is the production company here? Quiver Distribution. That apparently not very good at marketing their films because literally no one knows this movie exists, and this is something that comes out. And I will say this just real quick here too. And we talked about this with Culture before we went live. Daisy Ridley has a terrible agent. Like maybe in a way she has a good agent because she got like the Star Wars gig, but outside of Star Wars, like you think that she's bad in those movies. There's literally only one movie that I could think of that I've seen her in that was actually good, and it was The Marsh King's Daughter. And outside of that, I think of every other movie that I've seen her in, and it's just been absolute dog water. Now, with this film, maybe there's a chance of it being decent. It's directed by Martin Campbell, who has done numerous low-budget action movies that I actually did like he did The Foreigner, he did The Protege. So, I mean, there are some films there.
Yeah, that was all in the intro there, did the thing here to remind you that this guy's actually got talent despite what we've strapped him with.
Yeah, it's like, he did Casino Royale, so I mean,
I think what you're gonna find with this movie, Jacob, is that its original thing, kind of like how the Joker had zippity doo dah to do with Batman. The Joker was just a comedian that went nuts and created a riot, and that was how it went. And so they wrote all that Thomas Wayne jazz in there in order to make it sell with Batman fans. So I think what you're going to find with this movie is that this was originally supposed to be just some regular guy. This was supposed to be a regular dude that, for whatever reason, fell out of the... You're going to find that she probably has a drinking problem, And that's what got her out of the
all
army
these
was
women
that
do.
she was
They're in
drunk.
the military.
Well, no. Hers is going to be like one of those army man types where she's like knocking back 6-packs between duty, and she's completely lit driving a Jeep around. None of the like wino stuff in the bathtub crying herself to sleep. This is like the hardcore military.
She's
man
gonna be
right?
like an E3, like in the military.
Yeah, right. But
No,
that's
she
what
got
fine. What's that?
She got discharged because she was having an affair with her superior officer, who's a woman. That's what.
No, she got discharged
true.
because she dared to tell truth to power, and she told them what's what.
It doesn't strike me as this is the thing, is it doesn't strike me as a DEI movie when it's talking to you. It's when you're looking at it, you see a DEI movie. So that's why it tells me it started out as a man was supposed to be this.
She got dishonorably discharged for getting a DUI in a parking lot for basic training.
I think you guys are all wrong. I think the reason she looks like a bag of hammers fell on her face is because she was a man and is now trans.
No, because that would be that would be transphobic. You have to cast Carla Sofia Gascon in this part.
Yeah, or Ellen Page.
Yeah, that did not work out well. By the way.
Look, I've checked. I'm sorry, real quick. I've checked. Oh, go ahead, Orange.
In all seriousness, though, I have nothing against Daisy Ridley. It's the fucking writers that make her shit. Honestly, it's direction.
They've succeeded every time.
That make her shit.
They've succeeded every time.
But this movie, in all seriousness, I'm sorry, this is a fucking Die Hard ripoff. The only you change a couple things, and then you say, "Oh, it's original story." No, it isn't.
She's gonna say, "I'm getting too old for this." I promise you, she's going to say that during the movie.
Yeah,
she's literally gonna have a scene crawling in a vent.
You have a skilled person. You have a person who is skilled in combat. Bruce Willis in Die Hard. He's a cop. Going into a tall building
in a single bound
and fighting a bunch of freaking terrorists and shit. This is fucking Die Hard.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
British man with an accent takes over a tower.
Still alive.
Now let me ask you guys this here.
I thought Hans Gruber was German.
Hey, look, it's not Valentine's Day until somebody falls out of the Nakatomi building.
That's true.
So let me ask you guys this, based on both trailers that you guys have seen, and be honest, if you had to pick one at gunpoint, which one looks like the better movie, G20 or Cleaner?
Cleaner.
I'm going to see. I'm going to see Cleaner this Friday. No one can stop me.
Well, I think it actually is going to come out in El Paso, and I had to hunt down a theater that
I was doing that too. Rick, I'm with you, brother. Before we got started, I was trying to talk to Mr. Society Reviews over here and be like, dude, I can go to this, but there's only 2 showings per day.
Yeah.
In any of the theaters that I can go to it. And I'm like, it's like, okay, this is called limited release. We bought off these people for this number of showings. That's it.
Now, look, there are a couple of things. First off, I disagree with Rob that, I don't know if he was paid $1 million or $50. Like, I'm sorry, is Clive Owen a big enough draw nowadays to say, "Oh, I'm going to go see a movie where Clive Owen, where he's the bad guy, where he's the low rent Alan Rickman." Second, with the Die Hard comparison, he at least was trying to save his wife. Here, it's the brother. So I mean, I don't know if we're gonna have that big of a bond between the two.
The last movie I've seen with Clive Owen, you guys remember Gemini Man? Remember that movie? That was like right before COVID.
No,
it was the one with Will Smith where he was playing like a younger version of Will Smith.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I do remember. I did see it. It was terrible. I think I didn't realize he was in there, or didn't remember. I think the last movie I saw was Children of Men. I think that was the last movie he was in.
So I have to point out, right? It's that brother angle.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just rewind this back and just kind of put ourselves in that brother's feet, right? And he's in the tower and he's hostage. And it's
she had to marry him so that he could get his papers.
That's right. So he could move in. That's right. But back at what happened in the tower, after all that, you're going to sit here and this guy is legitimately taller than her already. And he's going to sit there and he's going to say, "My sister's coming to save us, guys." He's legitimately going
And
to
then
say
everyone
that.
else goes, "Oh my god, we're gonna die.
We're all gonna die." Exactly. That's
Well, if he's in the tower,
out the window.
if he's in the tower and the terrorists don't know or don't care, I think they're probably just gonna leave him alone.
If his sister looked like Bryn of Tar, yeah, I'd believe that guy was gonna be like, my sister, who's almost a foot taller than me, is on her way. Okay, when the floor's rumbling, she's coming. All right.
Yeah.
If his sister
Could you imagine Stacey Abrams playing this role?
No,
Yeah,
look,
right?
if
2
his
tons of
sister-
fun.
If his sister was Grace Jones, then maybe I could believe it because I'm with.
Wow,
with
what a
Culture on
buddy
that.
cop, right? What you got,
Yeah,
Stacey
I'm
Abrams
with
and Grace
Culture
Jones.
because hey, look, Grace Jones. When she took down those guys in A View to a Kill,
Melissa,
she's one of the best Bond henchmen. Come on, Mayday.
Yeah.
Even my mom knew who Mayday was.
But this is what I'm getting at about Cleaner. Just real quick back to that one while we're here. Cleaner's the makeout movie. Just to be clear, no, it is. It's the makeout movie because your date's gonna be bored to tears. Nothing is gonna happen in that movie to entertain her whatsoever. Your face is gonna be ground zero for whatever happens in the dark. Okay, that's how that goes. The movie, the G20 movie, you're gonna be talking about that. You're gonna be like, what the hell? Some old woman just came out of the top of an elevator. They're not gonna no makeout. You're gonna be analyzing.
Someone in the theater is gonna be, oh bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Everybody in the theater is gonna be talking to each other about this, like a mystery science theater movie.
No. They're not going to say that some woman just fell under the elevator. They're going to say the president. The most.
Yeah. Did you see the president's panties? And that's
it's red panty night here.
She was wearing a thong. We can't run it back.
Oh,
yeah, right. The guy in the front who's a little drunk who came in here to get warm from the cold outside just starts barfing. I saw her vagina.
He's like, oh, I can smell it. I can smell it.
I feel like I'm at that.
My ex-wife's.
I feel like I'm at that buffet at that strip club now.
Oh no.
Right?
No.
Right?
There
And
won't
so-
be anything. There won't be anything that's fishy at that buffet.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
saying.
this is the thing: is that the Cleaner movie moves slow enough, and Daisy Ridley is just boring enough that your date is not going to connect with anything happening on screen after the first 5 minutes, where there's a little bit of emotion, a little bit of current day music that gets her moving back and forth in the seat. Once that's into the drama, we're out. You're free to lock onto that face.
You bust out.
No.
You bust out the Yasuke DMC soundtrack, Assassin's Creed. That's gonna make this movie.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, Cider. I disagree with you. She's going to find a heroine to admire because your date is going to say, finally, a woman that it reflects me and reflects how I would be able to take down an international group of terrorists. I will finally be represented. I think, Jacob, really, this movie, Cleaner, for some reason, Cleaner and the G20 reminds me of when they tried to have who was it?
Hey,
the
all the
rhythm
world-
section. The rhythm section where they tried to make
Oh,
her
Blake
into
Lively, yeah.
Yeah, where they tried to make her into
And
some
she
sort of action
nearly
star.
got killed by a cripple in
Right.
the wheelchair who couldn't use his legs.
Why
Hey,
do they
hey,
insist
I-
on this?
I don't know, but this is
he
a high,
literally died because he ran out of oxygen killing her.
I'm about to do a high wire act joke here, so pay attention.
Oh gosh.
Okay. G20. All of the world leaders are women. That's a lot of G spots to find.
What if they connect the movies
See,
and do
you-
a
that's
crossover
just be
sequel called G Cleaner?
Ooh.
Please.
Well, you know what?
Give
That
them
Bonnie
idea.
Blue,
Another stellar joke. Boy, do you suck.
that Bonnie Blue lady needs a G cleaner. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
That-
but all I would
So
say to
the-
Cider is don't give them any ideas.
It's true.
Yeah,
Now,
please
are
don't.
we? No, wait. Are we going to find out at the end that the Cleaner was trained by Atomic Blonde?
Does that woman still have a career? I forget. Which one is
She's
that? That's
coming
the one with all
back.
the trans
Charlize.
kids, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charlize is going to be coming out here soon with Odysseus or the Odyssey or
That's the one with
the-
Tom Holland pretending to be cool again, right?
Yeah, well, okay. So first and foremost, Tom Holland is perpetually a 17-year-old
Holland.
boy.
Yeah,
Tom
Tom Holland has to play Telemachus. The
There's
idea
too
that he
many
would play
too
anything
many
else.
syllables in these names. I'm sorry, but
It's too many Toms. That's the problem.
Yeah, Tom Hanks sucks.
Just call him Spider Boy, and we all know
Yeah.
who you're talking about.
Yeah, he sucks.
Tony Stark Jr.
Yep.
Dude,
Just call him
Zendaya.
Booty Goon. We know what he's talking about.
Zendaya
Zendaya's
is
boyfriend.
Zendaya's Mr. Zendaya. Her last name is Coleman, if you can believe that or not.
Their
Anyway.
wedding photo, he's gonna be holding her pocket. I swear.
That's right. Yeah.
She's pulling the band off of his leg.
Yeah, he's got the bouquet in his.
Who are they going to find to recreate challengers when they get married?
Yeah. But yeah,
It's going to be Zendaya and then Tom Holland, and then they're going to have to find someone else so they could recreate scenes from challengers.
God, that is so bad. That movie was so bad. I'm angry that I saw that movie still. I'm still angry.
I fell asleep twice, Culture.
Oh,
I fell asleep literally. My cousin, I went to see it with my cousin, and he told me that I fell asleep twice watching it.
I would have taken the sweet release of death at that point. I was like, oh, the bologna sausage thruple of it all, like, was just a couple of minutes to try to get two dudes together. It had zero to do with her. She was seeing if she could get her boys to go down or get down, I should say.
Culture. I'm
Well, we're gonna move on here to our close. I think all the fun that we can possibly had came out of that one right here, because now it's time for me to get a little angry and get a little upset.
No, I'm already angry.
Yeah, this is a story that broke on Friday, and I'm going to be completely bare and honest with you here. I don't really personally care too much about the story one way or another. It's been people's reaction to this story that has absolutely enraged me with their utter stupidity over the course of this whole situation. So, Ashley St. Clair, who some of you guys may know, and I hope that it's no one on this panel because I think more of you than that. She is a conservative influencer on Twitter. And out of the blue, out of nowhere, completely uncontested and unwarranted, she dropped this little ditty on the entire world. It was a statement that she released on X. X gonna give it to you. She said that 5 months ago, I welcomed a new baby into the world. Elon Musk is the father. I have not previously disclosed this to protect our child's privacy and safety, but in recent days it's become clear that tabloid media attends so, regardless of the harm that it will cause. I will tend to allow our child to grow in a normal and safe environment. For that reason, I ask the media to honor our child's privacy and refrain from invasive reporting. This was, I guess, something that was cooked up by whoever her lawyer friend was, but surprise, Elon Musk has a child allegedly with this woman. So if this is true, and I'm really using if under a liner here, if this is true, that makes Ashley St. Clair the fourth baby mama of Elon Musk, who would now have 13 kids at this point. So these are all the children of Musk that we know of. For some weird reason, the names start getting really, really stupid here on the bottom end. Like, at least that there was, I guess once you have 13, you start giving up after a little while, because that's pretty much what it feels like here. But so this was the story that everyone was talking about here. Now, again, it's Elon Musk, who we all know is basically a sex fiend who just puts child and women aimlessly. So could he have
say how you really feel about him? Jeez.
Could he have knocked up this lady? Yeah, I mean, it's true. There's also rumors going out there that maybe she's just making this whole thing up. She's doing it for attention, because the day after that post, she had a whole full thing come out in the New York Post where she's doing like photo shoots. And it's like, didn't you just say you wanted to honor your privacy like less than 24 hours ago? And now you're on the New York Post talking about, oh, here's me in a nightgown negligee with a blazer. And I don't know who's going. Are these people stupid?
She's taking lessons from the Duchess of Sussex, who also wants her privacy while doing
Duchess
like prose
of Sussy Bacas.
But here's the question here. There was a lot of people on the conservative right-wing side who were like, why are you guys like congratulating her for basically coming clean with the fact that she may have just gotten knocked up out of wedlock by a billionaire? It's like, is this something that we should be rooting for? Is this something that we should be giving well wishes for? You see a couple people, Josiah Rice is saying that a lot of conservatives really showing nothing conservative about them cheering this on. Mike Ben saying, being a little bit more supportive, saying that the whole world is so lucky you've brought life into the world, and the whole world has got you and your family's back. And Alex Stein, I think this is a troll. I'm pretty sure he said, "I got your back, Ashley. You did the right thing. The world needs more babies." I'm assuming he's slightly being tongue in cheek in that response here.
No,
but
he's retarded. He said he was.
well, I mean, that's fair. Other people saying that this baby is lucky to have you as their mother. Congratulations. By the way, this is the second child that she has now, and I don't believe she's with the father of that child, so she's basically 0 for 2 for dudes and whatnot. Candace Owens saying that, children should be off limits and the journalists are parasites. Hard to imagine what's going through this young one. George and I will be praying for you, Ash. Love you, Mama Bear. It says that you're an incredible mom and a friend. Love you. So the reaction to this was very, very positive. Now I'm not even really angry with this. Like, I know this kind of leads to our next situation here, but this doesn't even bother me that much. Yet you could point out the hypocrisy that you have a bunch of right-wing people, essentially conservatives, quote unquote, kind of celebrating single motherhood, because as we've learned over the course of the last few days, Ashley and Elon are not a thing. They are not a couple. Apparently he's not even contacting her, maybe just because he's disputing where he's actually the father of his child or not. We'll find that out as the days go on. There's been a lot of talk behind closed doors about the fact that Ashley St. Clair has been notoriously known for being sexually promiscuous, right? And this is just another example of her being so, because the best case scenario for her is that Elon Musk actually is the father of this child, because if he is not, then that means that she got knocked up a second time by a guy who we don't even know of at this point. Now we have a Maury situation going on here. As I pointed out, that when you're dealing with women who have very troubled sexual pasts and have a recurring theme of not taking any accountability for their actions, all of a sudden I got pushback from people on both the so-called left and the so-called right. Because on one hand, you have people on the left who I guess love to prop up this type of, unionship and relationships. Like, oh yeah, just go out there and have as much sex as you want. It's all empowerment. You're a strong single mother, blah, blah, that nonsensical stuff. But then surprisingly too, you have a lot of people on the right who are defending her on the sexual promiscuity part of this situation. And the reason is that you have a lot of people out there who have checkered sexual past themselves, who I guess because they saw people, throwing Ashley under the bus for her past, they felt like they were being convicted for their own past, so they had to defend themselves through Ashley, which is really, really stupid on one answer of that. And then you just have a lot of people, primarily men, who don't want to hold women with checkered sexual past accountable for anything. We just had this conversation on Friday. Just a quick little sidebar here. I was on Iron Oxide's show a Friday night. He was doing the Rogues Gallery on the show every Friday night. And we were literally just having a conversation about how, people talk about these women who are on OnlyFans, how they make millions upon millions of dollars. It was like, well, if men weren't giving all their money to these women just so they could see pictures of their butthole for $50, whatever they're paying a month, then maybe these women wouldn't be making more money than LeBron James and Luka Doncic, right? Like, maybe if the men took a little accountability and not partaking in women's bad decisions, we can solve this problem. Now, I have no problem with that sentiment. I agree with that. Men are also a big part of the problem. But we could be honest when we could point out that men play a role in this as well. What people don't like is when you try to hold women accountable for their role in these particular situations. So even if you have a woman out there who has slept with 800, 1,000 people, and she's become a new celebrity based on all the men that she's slept with, we apparently can't be honest about the fact that, she's a whore and she lives life as a whore and she's unapologetically a whore. Because if you say that, some people who have checkered sexual past themselves get very, very uncomfortable, and now it's all of a sudden become like a he said, she said, and I can't believe you're judging this woman. And it's like, wait a second, so we can't judge people who have actively, boastfully bragging about the fact that they've slept with 800 men in their life, they've seen more dicks in their life than a bathroom at a Buc-ee's, and we can't judge these particular people? Like, what exactly are we doing here in the so-called conservative side of things? Is this all a grift? Is this all pro wrestling now? If it is, just let me know so I can stop taking all of you people seriously, because the people who can't be honest about what's really going on here, they're the ones that really piss me off about this whole situation. Like I said, not much to do much with the Elon and Ashley. Look, is she telling the truth? Who knows? she's apparently a whore. It can go either way. Elon's a little bit of a whore himself. So this whole thing, as far as who's in the right, who's in the wrong, who baby it is, it's all up in the air. It's all 50-50. It can go either way. To me, the disappointing reaction to this has really made me be like, I should probably start reconsidering some of the people in my inner circle if this is the type of hostility. If we can't be bluntly honest about people like this and about what's going on in society, then we're all just wasting our time here. Culture, I suckered you into coming onto my show here tonight to talk about this, so I want to get your thoughts on this whole situation. I know you have a lot to say, primarily Ashley and her whole involvement of whether this is actually Elon's baby or not. What is your take on the story, and I guess kind of more of the reaction to this story?
She introduced herself to Big Con a long time ago as a grifter. She is a grifter. She has a pretty huge following. She's been able to grift like crazy. She is toxic and she winds people up. She is a clout seeker. She is a drama farmer. All of these things are not my jam. So when I see somebody like this and their claims, I don't believe them. It's another way for her to, grift on whatever she's been doing. Look, I mean, there's always Elon always is engaged with everybody in his chat, the people that perform the best, the most impressions, stuff like that. So, he kind of holds them close, even if they're clout chungus guys, right? That what's his name? Chong, something Chong.
Ian Miles Chong,
Yeah,
or whatever his name is.
Yeah. He's complete garbage too. I mean, these are the kinds of people that unfortunately get Elon's attention because they generate impressions. I don't think he actually takes them seriously. But I do think it's interesting when he thinks that they have a good perspective on something. She's just one of those. She introduced herself to the world in an e-thought way. Yes, conservatives apparently have e-thoughts. And she's one of those. I never could possibly take her seriously. Oftentimes I find that something that is claimed not just by her but by others is just absolutely pure reactionary nonsense with no foundation in truth. So it's always embarrassing if I feel like they caught me up in it somehow. But this girl was been called out by people regular. We were talking about some other stuff of people that get called out by individuals all the time. And I mean, even, Jeremy Prime, called out this chick a long time ago. It's pretty easy to spot them. I had several behind the scenes conversations for lives that I was on today that, the vast majority of people just don't believe it. I mean, it's yeah, she's a hoe. There you go. She is a certified garden tool, and she's been apparently doing this shit since she was 15. I mean, there's, pictures around of her doing crazy things for attention. This is a crazy things for attention lady. Whether or not she's pregnant by him doesn't matter to me. Elon can do what he wants. He's got more money than he could possibly spend in a lifetime. He's got, access to more people than we could, more information than we have. And, he's going to live whatever lifestyle he chooses, unless he does something illegal and he gets caught up in something that's, going to put him in jail. I don't think he's dumb enough to do that. And, it's not going to slow him down a minute. He could have, 25 kids by 25 different ladies, and it ain't going to make a difference. So I have very little interest in this. I hate drama farmers, and it is what it is. So, if hoe gonna hoe, okay. And I mean, I don't see people like this any different because they're all clout attention seekers. So whether you're Bonnie Blue or you do something else to, bring people in. You said, show their buttholes for $5 a month. I mean, it's just a different kind of showing your butthole if you're pimping out, certain stuff like that. I don't care. How about that? That's the best line I've got. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt about all this, and I don't have much to say. I don't know who this woman is. I would not be surprised if Elon Musk fucked some random internet chick, but just because of what his past is and kind of how, I mean, again, I don't want to speak for him or, but he definitely is not into the traditional family unit. He's not a conservative. He's not a Republican. I kind of find it funny that any conservative or Republican would see him as any figure in that realm, other than the fact that he's, in Doge and the Trump administration right now. But even Donald Trump himself is certainly not a traditional conservative.
He's not. He's a New York Democrat, Rob.
Right. And
yeah,
absolutely. And so all of this is kind of funny to me, or see, why is Jack Posobiec blah blah blah, and it's like, there's all these right-wing grifters that get a lot of following, whether it's the quartering, the quartering, he called it out, to be fair, to set the record straight. But, it's just like, okay, this is just bullshit. This is just like drummed up drama for clicks and attention. And I agree with Jacob. The fascinating thing is seeing the reaction, watching how people react to this thing, whether they're trying to use it to, for their own following, for their own channel, acting, like they're the moral arbiters or whatever. Look, you could judge someone by their actions regardless of what it is. They're called value judgments. We do it every day, regardless of what our religion or faith may be. We all do it because guess what? Disgust is one of the strongest human emotions. And guess what? People don't want to be around someone they perceive as disgusting. So I have no problem with that. But yeah, it's just, to me, it's just drama. It's just crap. I have my own issues with Elon Musk. I certainly don't think that he's the figure that a lot of people do when it comes to Twitter and free speech and all that, because he, whatever. And that's fine. You know what I mean? It's, I think a lot of these things are just, they're examples to get people drummed up and to argue and to be divisive. So yeah, I largely think that this is just kind of a non-story, but it was sort of fascinating to kind of see just how people reacted to it.
Well, before our show got started, Rob and Orange Hat and Cider, even, we were doing the whole Star-Lord bit. You remember that?
Who?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Who? Orange Hat does it the best. Anyway, no, it's just that's where we were all at. It's like, who is this lady? Because outside of being again, some form of an e-thought. That's what I've always thought of these people. It's like you grift like that. But hey, I should shut up because I want to hear what Cider has to say. So.
Oh, now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Now?
So,
yes.
So as far as I know, the last Ashley that had anything to do with this was Ashley Madison, right? That's the Ashley that I was familiar with. The problem is that, to my knowledge, you can go down the route of saying like a bad lock is one that can be opened by a lot of keys. A good key is one that could open a lot of locks. You could say that this is how the logic of the world works, that Elon is not in the wrong here, but this woman is, or Elon deserves more mercy on this. But the flat fact of the matter is no one trips and falls into a vagina. You just don't do that. That there's no accidental sex. There's no whoopsies, we've made a baby. So you consciously make a decision to penetrate a woman, and she is consciously aware of that as well in a consensual manner. Ashley's not suggesting anything uncouth went down to make this child, rather that what appears to be somewhat of a Christmas party happened. And a child was to be presented out of that time frame, as a lot of babies seem to come from, especially here in the West. So when we look at the kind of greater scheme of this, Elon wants to present himself as a paragon. He wants to present himself as not necessarily the ideal American or the ideal 21st century man, but he wants to present himself as a cut above your average soccer dad. And so the problem with that is that you have to hold yourself to a set of standards. Now, being spread over all these different industries causes him to have to be a different man with every industry he's had his foot in that week. You cannot be the rocket man when you are building cars. You see, so you have to switch your entire mental structure in order to be there. Now, I can understand the stress of all that leads you to drinking, substance abuse, but not in the sense of like being an addict. But maybe you have a little bit of that stuff that makes you see aliens, the clockwork elves that have racist things to say. Maybe that's what you do. And so you meet Ashley Madison or whatever her name is there at some party, and she's likely also sauced up and knows that you're rich, and biology takes over. Before you know it, the two of you find each other naked and in a position neither one of you should be in this moment. And rather than remove yourself from that, Mr. Musk, being the superior intellect, you don't. And not only that, you resist taking ownership of that to the point where this woman feels emboldened enough to try and humiliate you in public on that fact. So I would say that, Elon, I want you to take ownership of your child if this is your child. And if this is not your child, I want you to act with righteous legal fury about this. I absolutely want you to sue her for libel. I want you to take her down in every manner you could think of, because there has to be a standard set for this. Maury is going to die soon, and with him should be the entire genre of You're Not the Father television.
Already dead?
To my knowledge, he's still alive. He's like Dr. Oz. He's like made out of wax. You know?
Yeah, he's still alive, Maury.
And he's married to that Asian chick still, right?
Connie Chung.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll live forever, you know.
Yeah, he'll be
Connie
fine.
Chung will just have a robot made of him, you know.
Yeah,
so
he'll be fine.
Yeah,
Hey, look,
that's-
I like
that's
my Maury Povich victory dance is this one. I'm not the father. I'm not the father. Anyway.
I'm not the Fiora. I'm not the Fiora.
Okay,
Yeah.
well that was maybe more.
But,
Orange Hat, I know that you're ready to go on this one, so go ahead.
Go.
First off, this bitch is an OnlyFans thought, by the way, folks. She once had an OnlyFans account. That was a while back. And then she claims to be a fucking right-winger. Bitch, you were complaining about Trump in 2015. You were all anti-Trump and all that shit. You were all for fucking left-wing shit. Don't you fucking dare say that you're a fucking right-wing influencer. Anybody who labels you as such, fuck right off. As for her claiming that this kid is Musk's, if it does turn out, I agree that if it does turn out that it's not Musk's, I am fully with Cider over here. Fucking destroy this bitch. Because it makes her, and I take this shit very personally due to my own history, a false accuser. Somebody who does that for notoriety, somebody who does that to ruin another person's life, or with the intent to do harm to a person's reputation, is scum. She is literally, in this case, I would call her a fucking whore of Babylon. Because, and I'm not overtly religious, folks, to get that clear. I'm not overtly religious. Yes, I was baptized Catholic, but I am not overtly religious. That's as far as my freaking religion goes. Yes, I believe in God, and yes, I do pray every now and then. But that's about it. But that bitch, if it turns out that this kid is not Elon Musk's, yeah. It's not about what I want, but I do believe that she deserves to have her fucking life ruined in response to trying to damage another person's life.
I will say this just real quick.
Punishment that fits the crime.
I'll just say this real quick and I'll let you finish. If it turns out that this is not Elon's baby, she could be looking at one of the greatest crash outs in human history. Because if it is not his kid,
she will disappear. She will disappear
from
online. She will fade into obscurity, be like, oh, there's no way I'm showing my fucking face around here again.
And if she disappears from Earth, then, maybe it was his kid. That's what I'm saying.
But here's the thing. If it does turn out to be his kid, I will be the first one to say, I am sorry I called you all those horrible things. Because honestly, I'm not one to say shit and just be like, okay, I'm going to double down and triple down and this and that if I turn out to be wrong. No, I'm one that will actually admit when I'm wrong, and then I will apologize if I labeled insult or levied insults, which I did in this case. Y'all can reference fucking stream.
For the record here, if it does turn out to be Elon's baby, that still wouldn't take away from her being a whore. So I just wanted to make that.
No, it wouldn't. But I would still apologize for saying shit about her basically having the intent. the thing is, folks, Elon Musk loves to point out declining birth rates, yet this dude is pumping out 13 kids. I'm guessing he's just trying to save humanity. But this is just not the way to do it. You don't go dude, you're not royal. You're rich, yes. You're autistic, sure. But you don't, or I don't think you should be sowing your autistic oats as it is. Because honestly, yeah, sure, you might get a genius here and there. I mean, autism does have a rarity, which is called savantism, where a person does have a genius level intellect in one way or another, even though they are also on the autistic spectrum. But genetics does not always carry on the intellect that Elon Musk has. All of his kids are not going to be geniuses. I guarantee you that is not the case.
He already has a tranny kid, so yeah, that's obviously not, not the case there.
He's already old for us.
That he's fucking disowned. He's already disowned the tranny.
Yeah.
But and not only but as for Ashley St. Clair, let me just finish this up. As for Ashley St. Clair, if it turns out to be Elon Musk's kid, fine. I'm sorry. I admit that I was wrong. If it does turn out that it isn't his kid, bitch, you better fucking run, because Elon Musk will fucking destroy you. And he would be fully in his rights to do so.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to say on this.
And
that's, by the way, that's tempered rage. I know I told you earlier that you couldn't compare to my rage. That's me on a low setting burner.
Yeah, that's me on a low setting burner. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't go harder. So, but I will to Leslie's point here. She talks about that. There are a bunch of innocent kids involved in this, and this is the thing, because some people have been kind of like brushing this off in the sense of like, oh, he's a billionaire, those kids be fine. It's like, I don't know if they'll be fine. I mean, they're not really ever going to see their dad outside of maybe a couple times out of the year if they're lucky. And then most of the time, they're going to be raised by some nanny that he's hired to take care of him while he's out, partying with Trump and stuff like that. So
They'll
I don't
be
know
fine,
if
but they won't be loved.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those situations, right? I mean, yeah, there's kids in much worse situations, but like I said, they're not gonna. It's not like he's seeing all 13 of his kids on a daily basis. At least one we know for he's not seeing that person at all. But it's not like he's seeing these children on a day-to-day basis here too. And I got one more point here, but I know Rick hasn't gone yet, so I'll go with Rick's thoughts on this thing.
Well, just bouncing off of that, it reminds me of when people talk about child support, is that, oh, well, he's providing. Yeah, but he's not providing in the raising of his child. He's just providing financial resources. And I'm sorry, money is not a substitute for a good parent. So let me start off here. First, I don't know who this Ashley St. Clair is. I've never heard of her. And I don't understand the idea that you can talk about or feel proud to talk about the fact that you got knocked up and had a child out of wedlock and say that's a good thing. Elon Musk, Ashley St. Clair, assuming that they did conceive a child, they're free to do as they wish. We can only advise them and say, maybe that's not a good idea, but they're not going to listen to us. I'll also say that I think the reaction, and just gathering from what Jacob says, I think that his reaction is displeasure at the thought that there are many people who claim to have, quote, family values and who claim to have an upstanding moral view, and they're saying, oh, well, Ashley St. Clair says a couple of things that sound pleasing to my ear, so I'll let it pass. I'll let you go ahead and get knocked up, and I'll be fine with it because you say certain things that sound good to me or that I might say. No, I think the important thing is to say, you need to, if you're going to say that you have certain values and have a certain worldview, you have to show that. We're all sinners. I know that. We all say, we can extend grace, but what was that? What is that thing that Jacob says? One can be, once is an accident, twice
is a coincidence, twice is an twice is a pattern, 3 times is agenda.
Yes, now we've got the twice. So twice the pattern. If she's had 2 children out of wedlock, this would not be a good idea. I don't think people should have multiple children by probably multiple fathers, and not bother to have a family. I don't think that's a good idea. That's just damaging to the kids. That is damaging really to the parents as well. It's very concerning. So I think that the people who are cheering her on are not living up to the standards that they claim. They could make a case somewhat to say, well, at least, yes, I've heard some people say, well, at least she did not abort the child. Well, I think in those times you should say maybe they should not have been putting themselves in a position where they could potentially abort the child. Or you could say, maybe you shouldn't sleep with someone, or you shouldn't sleep with them and have unprotected sex. I'm sure Elon Musk and Ashley Sinclair could afford condoms and could afford to take birth control pills. I presume that they can. I think I could. I think I could afford some condoms, although, unless they're going up like the price of
Who
eggs,
knows, right?
I don't know if I could afford them.
Yeah, and to kind of like condense this just a little bit here, it's like, on the political front of this story, look, if we're being honest with ourselves, there's not a real true conservative movement anymore. It just isn't, because you look at the people who are leading our conservative movement, it's basically just a bunch of former liberals. That's really what it is here. I mean, from Trump down to Elon Musk. Elon Musk has been paraded around for a while now. When you really think about it, like, here's why I'm not surprised by this. Elon Musk is really just an anti-censorship liberal at his core. He hasn't really adopted any kind of like
90s
true
Democrat.
conservative value. Exactly. He hasn't really tried to adopt any real quote unquote conservative values. He's just spoken out publicly against censorship, and he bought Twitter as kind of a platform against censorship. That's really what it comes down to here. So I mean, if you're expecting any real true right-wing conservative values out of him, you're not really paying attention to what's going on here. Women like, Ashley St. Clair, or Smashley St. Clair as people are calling her now, women like this is very, very hilarious to me, because there's a picture of her and Lauren Southern. And I guess Lauren Southern had a similar controversy a couple years ago, because it got revealed that she had sex with Destiny. So yeah, so she had sex with Destiny while the other one had sex with Elon Musk. So that goes to tell you what paths those two are
Then
going.
you got
in there.
Lauren Boebert getting felt up at a school play.
Getting molested at a school play, and then somehow her ex-husband is the one apologizing publicly. Make that make sense, right? So
yeah, right. Yeah.
Here's the reality. When you talk about these political people in these conservative ink bubbles, they're morally no different than the left. They're more. They'll say things that you'll agree with. They'll say things on Twitter that give you a like on there, but morally they're no different than the people that they're whining about. I mean, I've heard many stories. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard it too, about the things that go on behind closed doors at the CPAC parties and the TP USA events and stuff like that. They're no different than the left as far as that aspect goes. So politically, if you're putting your eggs into these people's baskets, then I mean, you're setting yourself up for failure. There's a
lot of eggs being put around.
Yeah, apparently there's a lot of eggs to go around now. But the thing that bothers me, and this is what I've said, kind of lead up to earlier, is that last Sunday, I should say, I talked about the sexual revolution and really just like the overwhelming damage it has caused our society. If you want to go back and watch that in more detail, go ahead and do that. It's up on our on the site on YouTube and Rumble. And looking at where that has led us to right now, where men and women are so, I don't want to just say biologically opposed, but especially politically opposed than they have ever been before, to the point where there are nations in this world right now that are looking at a catastrophic population collapse, because essentially the men and the women don't want to be with one another for a varying laundry list of issues. And essentially a woman's sexuality and purity is a big part of that reason. And like I said, no one wants to be honest, and I found out with a lot of people, you can't have a true honest conversation regarding purity and sexual issues, because like I said, someone's always going to be emotionally invested in a story like this, because like I said, they can't separate themselves from the person that we're having a subject with, because maybe they're holding on to some grief or judgment about some of the things that they've done. So they're never going to speak out objectively about this. And as a result of this, we cannot have an honest, straightforward conversation about, you know what, since the 1960s, we've told women to go out there and enjoy life and have sex with as many men as you possibly can, have a healthy sex life, quote unquote. And on the same token, we have fed men this Hugh Hefner idea of just have your own harem and have sex with as many women as you want and become a conqueror, as Andrew Tate says. And no one wants to talk about how that has been utterly devastating for our society, not just here in the United States, but for the world here. And because people just love their sexual immorality so much, they would rather essentially defend people like the two people we're talking about here on a level where they really shouldn't be defended based on the story going on here, because they can't separate themselves from the immorality of the conversation here. And I don't know if this is going to get any better anytime soon. It feels like it's only going to get worse from here, but unfortunately, this is the hole that we've all dug in this situation here. So,
well,
any final thoughts on? Any final thoughts here, and I'll go with Cider. Go ahead.
Let me just tell you that on that last part you were on with the Doomer thing. I'm all about these freedom cities. I'm trying to get my local state's attention to have one built here in Maine. These freedom cities are, as far-fetched as it sounds, just go with me on a limb here and think about this. Who's going to build that? Right? It's not going to be me. It's not going to be you. It's not going to be culture. It's going to be the Zoomer kids, and it's going to be the alpha kids that are in high school now. The ones that are 18 years old right now. They're going to graduate out and go get these jobs. Now, they don't have a great education, as we know. They're not too tippity top. At least up here in Maine, anyway. They're not too tippity top on the school charts there. So, and I don't even know what to call it. It shows you what the education's like up here. But what we know is that they will have a secure job then, and that means that they'll be able to afford a home. Now, of course, if they're building a new city, they'll be building those homes, which will incentivize them to A, take care of them, and B, defend them from having legal erosion, legal intrusion upon those homes. Now, what that does for a young lady who is industrious is it tells her, well, I don't have the burden of paying for my apartment now, so I'll move in with my boyfriend who has a house. Well, after a few months, that turns into, maybe we ought to get married. This is kind of comfortable. I like having you around. And so they get married. A lot of what young couples kind of go through is this test run phase. And what ends up falling apart is that the man ends up falling behind the woman, either in productivity or in the amount of money he pulls in. And that's just, for whatever reason, it's just how it goes. I don't know why, but that's how these things break apart. So during that test run phase where they're living together, boom, it blows apart. Now, Jacob, you know about the birth control thing that frigs with the women's internal chemicals.
And we talked
so
about
what
that
you want
on
to do?
Sunday.
So what you want to do is we need to start talking to young men about this. And I'm not really joking about this. We need to start talking to young men about this. Is that before you get married to her, make her get off birth control for at least 2 months. You're going to have to be very careful, wear a condom, be very guarded about this. But in 2 months, that'll dry out enough in her for her internal chemicals to judge you as someone that she's going to want to be with. Because when she hits menopause and doesn't need that birth control thing to control her flow anymore, because that's how they use it now. It's not to control the birth. They use it now to manage their cycles. And so when we don't have to do that anymore, well, she's going to hate your guts. When her pheromones start interacting with yours without the drug interfering it and numbing the sensation on her end, she's going to hate your guts, buddy. That's how biology works. So that's what I'm just saying, man. Just 2 months, just ask her for 4 weeks, could we please have very safe sex while you go off of birth control, just to test a weird theory I heard about on the Barroom podcast.
Well, not only that, but I would go as far as to say, and this is, people are going to get very, very upset when I say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. If your potential wife / mother of your children has slept with more than 10 people before she has met you and is hooked up with you, flee, because it's not going to work out.
You'll be 11.
Cope, you conceive all you want, But if your woman has a body count of double digits in any variety whatsoever, your chances of a future divorce are almost guaranteed. So, like I said, feel free to defend women who have high body counts, or if you have a high body count yourself and you say that that's not true and blah, blah, blah. Like, the statistics are on my side on this one. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, and the science is too. I mean, pair bonding is affected by, exceeding 12. I mean, that's like the, you don't want to be the baker's dozen because you have a decent chance of the 70% of divorces being started by the woman at that point. So no bueno. Statistics don't live well in that house. The fewer the better. And look, I know it's hard. I mean, men are really attractive. So, you want to get down with a bunch of them, but, pick a good one and somebody that you feel is going to be reasonable. And will likely take care of you and not throw you into the wood chipper, and you'll probably be fine. So, ladies, just pick well. That's, I guess, my point.
Anyone else have a final thought on this one before we wrap up and get out of here? Okay, well, we were talking about ghouls and demons earlier, so here's Ariana Grande. I figured this would be a good way.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, give me strength tonight, please.
Remember when she was licking donuts?
She was like 60 pounds heavier then.
Yeah. Well, she was
like a whole other Ariana Grande heavier.
Yeah, I had no idea who this woman was when I saw her licking a donut at a baseball game, and I was like, please get this woman out of my view.
Life.
But
I mean, dude, this town chews people up and spits them out. Go back to look what Ariana Grande looked like in like the first season, like Victorious, well, it was like 2009, and look to where she looks like now. Like there's something going on in that town, people. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if it's the drugs. I don't know it's the industry. I don't know if it's the demons. There's something's happening there because this is not natural. So that's all I'll say.
Maybe she'll gain a couple of pounds when she wins the Oscar. You never know. She could eat a lot at the governor's ball.
Like a lot of donuts, yeah.
A lot of donuts.
Okay, we're gonna stop putting that on the screen. I just want to say this was a great show. We got a lot of good topics here, and cider has it.
Brother,
yeah.
What's that? What's that, brother?
Yep. That's all it is. So I'll go ahead and give you guys the floor so we can wrap on and get out of here. Culture. I'm pretty sure the cup you have there is green because it just bled through your screen there.
So. No. That is mid-transporter back to the Enterprise, all right?
That's true. Yeah, it's in a permanent state, actually, technically. Look, I'm glad to be here. I can't believe you asked me on after all the misbehavior I'm responsible for in previous shows. I feel like I have avenged my family, and I will continue to fight for for the summer children.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm glad you were on the show tonight. That's all I'll say there. Rob, what do you got coming up, my friend?
I have no idea. I've got to get a new microphone apparently. So, but I'm in a position where I can drop, the money for that. So that's nice. I am very slowly getting back to, I guess, movie reviews because 2025 has had nothing so far. So,
utter dog crap.
I literally, the only thing playing in my local Regal is The Monkey, some horror movie.
It's terrible.
Is it terrible? It looked terrible. I was hoping that because Osgood Perkins, it was just coming off Long Legs. That maybe it was going to be okay. But if it's, so, okay. Well, that's going to continue here. I don't know.
I'm not even making this up. I think I've seen 4 movies so far this year. That's how bad this year has been.
I've seen 2. Love Hurts and Captain America.
Like we're not reviewing movies just for the sole reason there's nothing to watch, people. Like there's nothing out there.
I was told by 2 people, and I haven't been able to get the screener yet, that Hard Eyes was good.
Yeah, so it's not good. Well, Jacob cut out there, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to time this to see when he's done talking, and I don't know, so I'll have to go back to the replay to actually hear what was said. But yeah, it's not good, but as always, I'm gonna be watching movies. You can follow me over my Twitter. The Oscars are coming up. in a couple weeks, which I'm oddly looking forward to. Probably because I've got nothing going on that's current right now. Just old movies, and that's pretty much it. So follow me over there, and we'll see you next week.
All right, Cider.
Amazing.
We're not going to tell him he's
muted.
He's fine.
He's muted.
No, I said we have this thing right here.
Oh.
And that's right. Gozuger has premiered in Japan, and boy howdy did it blow the socks off of just about everybody in the Bounding team that's seen it. We're going to be talking about it. It's a complete tokusatsu takeover tomorrow night at 8 p.m. over on Bounding Into Comics. That's
when he talks about everyone who has seen it, he's literally talking about Cider.
Spencer saw it.
Oh, he's a nerd.
Wait, does Spencer wear socks?
I don't know.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, there's a couple of jokes I can do there, but I'm not. It's too late. Orange Hat, where are you going?
Well, tomorrow I'm on Jade Shadow's channel to talk John Wick. We're with the ones and twos. Thursday on X exclusive at 8 p.m. I'm going to be on my profile. We're going to be talking The Punisher 2004. Friday is Orange Hat Uncensored. Sunday is the recap. We're also going to be talking the movie Tombstone on that one.
Oh, it's so good.
Yep. And then Tuesday next, I'm going to be finishing out the theme stream with the favorite gaming storylines with Star Wars: The Old Republic storylines. And yeah, other than that, the only movies I'm looking forward to this year are, well, for one, I saw the trailer to The Accountant 2. Looking forward to that one.
That looks good, right? Barenthal looks amazing. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love the first one, but the second one actually looks like it could be good as well.
All right, and then last but certainly
also trying to get the 2000.
Oh, get there, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm still.
Yeah, I don't know why you were like halfway off the screen there, but yeah, you're good.
Okay. I'm usually half off everywhere.
I still don't have your address, Rick. So I'm waiting on that. I got a special gift for you, buddy.
Oh, well, I'm kind of worried if I give you my address, I'll have a bunch of ICE agents here, ready to take me across the border since I can walk to the bridge.
That's a rumor.
I will just say that I'm going through the Exorcist retrospective and wondering why this is even a franchise. It's like they've been terrible. That I've got upcoming more reviews. I am also looking forward to the Oscars, though I do have to buy some beer to get me through Emilia Perez winning any Oscars, which it probably will, much to my great disappointment. So I have to be sloshed out of my mind for that. And yeah, just more reviews, working through the Exorcist retrospective, and yeah, just seeing for the Oscars. That's pretty much it. And waiting not to be deported. So there's always that.
Yeah, good luck. What we got coming up here? So Friday, me and Nerdigans are gonna be doing more Pokemon manga. I was supposed to do Diamond and Pearl, then I realized we completely skipped one, so we went back, and I was completely unprepared. So now we have to go back to doing what I was originally gonna do in the first place. So that's coming up on Friday at I think about 7:00. We'll do that one. This Sunday we're gonna be doing part 4 of the Satanic Panic. We're actually gonna be talking about the bread and butter that everyone else talks about, the 80s and the 90s. So if you haven't, go back to watch our first 3 episodes, go back and do that. Then you can catch up with us for part 4. I have videos coming up for the 511 show on Bounding. You'll see those over at Bounding Comics YouTube. My movie reviews are up at the Mix. I should have probably put a link in the chat for that because it's over there as well. And then, like I said, tomorrow night we'll be over at the 01 stream talking about the things going on in our sphere. It's gonna be tomorrow, so I'm gonna be busy doing some things, and then I'm gonna be doing some reshuffling. So I'm looking into getting into some investments here because YouTube doesn't pay the bills. Just put it that way. And it has some very, very interesting things around the corner. So you'll see me shuffling some crypto scams in the next couple of months. So if I tell you go buy like Sun coin, just don't do it. You're going to lose everything. So I'm just giving you a forewarning now. Until then, thank all of our people who joined us here on YouTube, Rumble, and on X. Let's go ahead and get out of here. I know you guys have been here a little bit long. Adios, goodbye, and good night. Should I play the Puddle of Mud intro one more time, or is that a good way to get out of here? I'll do the quick intro. Bye, everyone.
He's a friend tattoo with him. It's too late. I don't think you fit the issue.